Thank you so much. So we're going to be starting this class immediately, but before we start, please just give me a second to get this live on YouTube so that others can also have access to it. Please kindly give me some few more minutes so that I can transfer okay, so for the sake of those who are not here, please can we kindly send them a reminder from the chat room to please join us. If there is anyone that is not here yet, please can we kindly send them a reminder in the WhatsApp room so that they can join us here. We'll be looking at Agile project management this morning. Please, I'm still here. I'm just trying to get the work on YouTube so that we can commence the class. Please just give me some seconds. I will proceed. All right, so one of the things we want to achieve this weekend is to ensure that we round up project management this weekend, and we'll go prepare for exam. So we're going to be done with all classes today. So should there be any class we ever missed, we try and use the YouTube option to get all the classes. All right, so please, if you can see my screen, Agile development, please can you help me type 22 in the chat room? You can see my screen, Agile development. Please can you help me type 22 in the chat room, Agile development 22. All right, thank you. Because of the time we've taken so far today, we might not just do morning section and go. So we might be running till 11 o'clock, and then we'll come back later on to complete this program. But no matter what be the case, we are going to be rounding up this week. If not today, then we'll be rounding up tomorrow. Okay, so before we proceed, I don't know if there is anybody with a question. My name still remains Mr. Eburuche Banito, and I will be your facilitator for today. Please, before we proceed, could there be any question anywhere that I need to deal with before we proceed? Any question, any comment? Okay, so in the presence of the absence of questions, we want to sincerely sympathize with all Nigerians over the incidents that have been happening in the country over the past few weeks. We know that we will definitely get over with this, and that is going to be a consolation to us. And please, we encourage everyone at this moment, please be careful on what you say to people and be careful on what you post on your social media handles. Ensure to make sure that all your posts are emotionally intelligent and they are not going to be used against you for whatsoever reason. And please, this moment is not a moment to argue on political party or argue on ethnicism and tribalism or sectionalism. This time is not a time to argue about religion. This time is not a time to argue about who is the best leader and who is not. So please, let's be cautious in the way we use our languages, and also be very mindful on who we are using it with. And for all those who had lost their lives within this period, we sincerely sympathize with them and pray that God will give their families the solace to bear. So that being said, we will proceed with the class. Okay, so Agile project management or Agile development. What is it all about? What is the difference between the Agile project management and the traditional project management? What is the use and application of Agile project management? So all of that, all we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at different methodologies used in Agile project management and how they can be of great innovative approach to our businesses and to our careers. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing right from here. If my screen is moving from your own end, please feel free to confirm. If it's moving, please feel free to confirm. If it's not moving, please do let me know as well. If the screen is moving, please let me know. If it's not moving, please let me know. If you can see objectives and all of the things written there, please, I would like to have a confirmation from us. Please, if the screen is moving from your end, kindly have me type, okay, yes. All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's start from here. Now, before the introduction of Agile project management, we've been using the traditional project management methodologies, which were initially stipulated by the Project Management Book of Knowledge and other competency books in project management that have helped in project management standards and methodology, and especially the ISO standards 21500 on project management, and also helped in project methodologies and all of that. But recent time, there had been an adoption of, there had been an introduction and adoption of Agile project management approaches to the work environment and to business generally. Now, the Agile project management was first originated in the software industry, which was basically a way of trying to satisfy customers faster, and also get to have products in badges released in badges, then followed by updates and the likes of that. So every software you see today, you see version so. At some point, they will ask you to upgrade to another version. At another point, they will ask you to upgrade to another version. And then you also see that in automobiles, like today you see Camry 2006. The next time you see Camry 2009. The next time you see Camry 2014, 2020, 2021. All of those agile approaches to getting out products in the market. So what Agile project management actually does is that it helps you to satisfy customer problems or customer issues as they arise. So you first of all solve the basic problem, and then gets to solve, use updates to solve the problems, other problems that may accrue. All right. So that's what Agile project management essentially does. It gives the customer some sense of satisfaction, and it puts the project manager in a seat of continuous development, continuous innovation towards improving the product. All right. So if you are a business, if you're a service person, a product person, it doesn't really matter. So Agile project management tells us that we need to continuously improve on what we're doing as to ensure that we have the highest level of customer satisfaction, as to have the highest level of quality, as to have the highest level of product dominance in the market and all of that. Now, there was something that happened some years ago between Ford and Ford Motors and another car, another automobile company. I may not remember that company. I think it was Mazda or so. Now, there was a story that Ford was working on a particular car, and they believed that the car was going to be a top-notch car. It was going to be the best of the best cars. Now, it took them over 10 years to design and build this car. Now, after they were done, they were waiting for the right moment, the right economic moment to launch the car so that the car can be high priced, and then it would just be essentially for those it was meant for. Now, while they were waiting for the right time, another automobile company now brought out exactly the same model of car with the same features they were preparing for. And now the market was launched, the company launched the product into the market, and customers liked the product. They liked the product such that when Ford launched theirs, there was nothing else to like about it. So the first mover advantage took over the market. Okay, and Ford reported that they lost over $50 billion on that particular project. So when we run projects without having agile approaches in place, it begins to put up a tale of loss upon us as a company. So some people ask the question, what's an agile product? An agile product is a product that continuously come up with updates, and for every time they meet up with customer demands. And one thing with agile products is that agile products get to be strategic. So agile products could actually foresee the trend of change, the trend of human behavior, the trend of taste, and try to work and improve the product to the trend of movement so that customers can easily adapt to those trends as soon as those changes begin to occur. All right. For instance, when the telephone came out, there was no camera to it. All right. Then when the camera came out, it wasn't as sharp as what we had today. When it even slightly became sharp, it wasn't, the telephone wasn't as big as we have today. Now, when it begins to get big, some people were now making the differences from sharper cameras. So today we have 4 MP, you have 8 MP, you have 16 MP, you have 24 MP, you have 32 MP, and all of that. All of those are improvement. All right, all of those things are improvement. If they had ever waited to when they will have the smartest of all phones before they will launch the phone industry, obviously we might not be having phone today. And if we could have had phones today, perhaps it would just be in the hands of a few. Okay, so it is important to understand what agile methodologies or agile development can do to our product. So inevitably, what agile approach is trying to say is that you don't have to wait for it to be very perfect before you launch it. All it has to do is to solve a problem at a particular time for you to launch it. I'll repeat that again. The agile approach does not mean that the product has to be perfect before you launch it. What it simply means is that the product has to solve a particular problem, have a particular value for you to launch it. Then as the product continues staying in the market, you keep improving it. You keep improving on the quality, you keep improving on the perfection, and you keep having value. All right. Now, I'm also going to share some important things about agile approaches. Agile approaches have become the foundation for business innovation, business change, business sustainability today. Now, I don't know how many of us will remember Kodak. Kodak was a camera company that used to produce film. So they produce film and they produce camera. So why Kodak moved out of the market for a while was because people like Canon came into the market with digital approaches, not analog approaches to making film. So you can, or making photos and movies. So you can actually snap and have a soft copy of your work without having to go to the lab and start reading through films and start enlarging and all of that before you could get the film out. So Kodak had a longer time to dwell in the achievement that Canon had to use that as a strategic advantage to shoot over Kodak. So today, Kodak is now lagging behind because they didn't adopt agile approaches in their product development. All right. Then you see people like Nokia. Nokia nearly went out of the market. I doubt if the market that Nokia dominated in their early days is the same market share they are dominating today. Okay, those days in every home you could actually see Nokia. So for every 10 phones, Nokia was almost 9. Okay, for every 10 phones in Nigeria, Nokia was dominating the market. But there was something that Nokia did not apply. Nokia did not see the trend of change, or perhaps they saw the trend of change and perhaps did not consider it as worth it. Nokia did not buy the change. So Techno, as in the Nigerian market, was the first to introduce the Android versions of phones. Okay, so that psychology of having to use a touch screen phone, no matter how small it was, that psychology of having to talk to your phone and interact with your phone, have a better camera and all of that, took Nigerians off from using Nokia. When Nokia came out newly, they used to call it China phone, like it was a low quality phone. But as soon as it began to upgrade, it began to use agile approaches to upgrade the products. As they began to solve for every feature they brought in, it was an enticer to the market. And as they began to entice the market with their new features, the market share began to move from Nokia to Techno. Okay, and today you will agree with me that most of the dominance we have today in the market is really towards Nokia and Nokia related product. It's towards Techno and Techno related offers. E.g., you have Techno, you have Infinix, you have the other one. What do they call it? Itel and Blue something. So there are ones that people are having much more interest in. Okay, and it's really getting them to have their issues sorted out. So a middle income earner can actually use a product that makes him feel good. So he doesn't have all the resources to go and buy Nokia, have all the resources to go and buy iPhone. He doesn't have all the resources to go and buy Samsung, but he has the resource to buy Techno. He has the resource to buy Itel. He has the resource to buy Infinix. And those companies are using just agile approaches to retain their markets. So as a consultant, you need to find agile approaches that you could use to retain your market. You need to find agile approaches to retain your market. That's very, very important. If you're into banking, you need to find agile approaches to retain your customers and serve them better. If you're a consultant, you need to find agile approaches. Agile approaches, let me give you an example of agile approaches as it were. Agile approaches is like, instead of giving the product the whole value once, you give the customer the product little by little. Okay, so there was this adage, or this strategy then, we used to catch birds, chicken in the village then. So you get corn, get enough volume of corn that you want to throw to the chicken till you throw it to where you want him to stay, or where you want the chicken to stay. So that's an example of agile approach. You drop an ear of corn for the chicken, it picks that one, comes closer, you drop another one, you keep drawing the chicken till you finally take the chicken to where you want it to relax, okay, to stay. That's a typical example of agile approach. If you had dropped the whole corn at where the chicken is, you will notice something. You will notice that when there is someone else throwing another corn close to the chicken will get distracted, leave the bulk of the corn where it was actually, and start picking the ones that keep drawing it to, then it gets to where he wants it to be. So in your business development approaches, in your product development approaches, in your market development approaches, you need to find the first versions, the second versions, the third versions, and you must keep improving on that. Your market, your product, your business shouldn't be stagnant. Yes, if the word consistency is the rule of the game, then we must be consistent in service improvement. We must be consistent in quality improvement. We must be consistent in innovations. We must be consistent in creativity. We must be consistent in modifications of our product and our services just to entice the customer. And for any time you're adding a new feature to your product or to your service, you must find the feeling that it conveys to your customer, because at some point, what we do in innovation is not necessarily to solve a problem again, but to make the customer feel good. Did you get what I just said now? At some point in product development, at some point in service improvement, at some point in market development, we don't really want to solve a problem again. We just want to continue to sell an emotion, give out a feeling to the customer. So let me give you an example. When you get a phone that allows you to record, edit your videos, and then render the video and then have it out as a video. Now, that's not the basic function of a phone. That function is only giving a customer a feeling that, yes, I can actually do video editing. Now, with or without the video editing, the phone will still work its primary purpose of making calls and receiving text message, of communication, right? So the avenue of putting games, making smarter games on a phone, that's not the basic function. But that phone can give a customer a feeling that, yes, I could relax with this phone, all right? And then you have, let's take, for instance, you bought a Jeep that the audio system is quite heavy, all right? Now, the primary function of the car is not the audio, but the feeling that you get from the audio will make you feel like you have value for your money, okay? Now, when we travel by air, the problem is solved is the same problem that the person that travels by road, the person that travels by ship goes. But the feeling is that, okay, if I travel by air, I will get to be faster. If I travel by air, I will get to, there's a kind of feeling it gives us naturally. So when you are improving on a product, when you are improving on a service, sometimes it might not be to solve a problem, but it's just to get the customer to stay where you want him or her to stay, just to retain the customer, just to give the customer a better sense of feelings, good feelings, all right? Okay. Now, if you understood a little of what Agile project management is going to be all about, please, I need you to comment in the chat room if you understood a little of what is all about. You understand it a little, so that when we are going through it, you can then understand it more. All right, thank you. So in essence, Agile project management can be applied to anything, can be applied to anything. Okay, so let's look at what we have here. I trust you can see my screen, Kate. Kate, Michigan, the case study we're looking at. Kate, Michigan works as a project manager with Nizone Software Incorporated for the past 7 years. Kate is a dedicated professional and has several years of experience in project management. Over the last few years, she has observed that the software market has grown by leaps and bounds. At the same time, she has noticed that the market also has become extremely competitive. Also, the client has become greatly demanding with added pressure on delivering a software solution that meets the client requirements. Kate has always been on the forefront of project management and plays a key role in gathering requirements from the client. She is also responsible for the timely and successful execution and completion of the project. Kate is the primary point of contact with the client. Hence, Kate is also responsible for any changes that the client wants in the scope of the project. Recently, she was handling a project where the client came back in the last leg of the project phase with a new feature to be added to the software. Kate has a hard time convincing the client that the extra feature could be added in the next version release. This client had argued initially, but then agreed to Kate's suggestion. However, Kate has seen many clients who keep changing the requirements, which ultimately keeps changing the scope of the project. She has also compromised with lesser quality to deliver fast that she thought of overcoming this constant hassle forever. Kate has been aware of and even certified for Agile project management recently. Kate suggests to Nizon Software Management that they should implement Agile management methodology in the company. Most members of the management are worried about the added cost and pressure on the employees that this step would entail. However, Kate convinces them that adopting Agile project management would in fact help keep their project cost within stipulated budget. Also, it will help the employees in delivering a high quality product on time and also as per client changing requirements and scope. The management is skeptical at first, but decide to give Agile project management a try. As you have seen, the kind of problems that Kate is facing is something that all project managers face while managing projects. So let's see how exactly does Agile project management help improve project management. So in this class, we are going to be looking at explaining Agile project management, looking at the Agile manifesto. We'll look at the foundation, the 4 foundational Agile values, the 12 supporting Agile principles, the role of leaders in Agile project management, tips for managing diversity in an Agile team, the importance of leadership in Agile, the Scrum methodology in Agile project management, extreme programming methodology, stages of Agile project management, the importance of accountability in an Agile team values and ethics, Agile team management that will lead the pitfalls to effective Agile team communication. So these are all of what we're going to be doing in this class. Please, just a second, I will be back. All right. Thank you for giving me that little break. So let's quickly look at Agile project management. Now, there's something I would like you to do for me. As we are going through the Agile project management, you'll be looking through your company, you'll be looking through your business, you'll be looking through the different departments in your organization, and then begin to ask yourself, what strategies can you bring in that will help in continuously improving your organization. Now, one of the key aspects of Agile project management is flexibility. So in essence, we are open to change, okay? Agile project management understand that change is inevitable and is ready to accept change at the twinkle of an eye, all right? Is able to accept change at the twinkle of an eye. So while looking at agile approaches to team management, we'll find that in agile team, our mind is just flat. And our mind is open that even as we're almost rounding up 99%, there could also be changes. So while we are working, we're expecting change. Okay, while we are working, we're expecting change. Now, to ensure that the depth or the consequences of these changes are reduced to the barest minimum, we keep having constant interaction with customers and making sure that at any point of release, customer gets to accept that, customer gets to appreciate that, customer gets to have satisfaction with that before we move to the next level. So in such case, the effect of changes would have been reduced drastically. Okay, the effect of changes would have been reduced drastically. All right. Some people are saying can't hear. Please, I would like to confirm that everyone could hear me loud and clear. Selassie and Aishat, please, if you can hear me, I will need you to confirm in the chat room. So Agile project management is a value-driven methodology to deliver highest quality of work to clients on time. Agile project management is a value-driven methodology to deliver highest quality of work to clients on time. It splits huge projects into iterations. So it splits huge projects into smaller bits and then repetitive actions that are done just for the purpose of improvement. And you know, whenever we deal with improvement, the essence of improvement is to improve quality. All right, improve quality, improve customer satisfaction, improve all approaches that will ensure that we have customer loyalty and all of that, and also to help us gain larger market share. Okay, to help us gain larger market share. Now, remember I said you should be doing some work as you're learning here. You could write down all the departments of your company. You could write down all the products that you offer to your company, and then you find out all the values that each of those products bring to the customers. And then the question is, what is the next line of action? What is the next trend of events that customers could be moving to? What could be the next drive for customer behavior? Then that will help you begin to ask yourself, what kind of value should we start thinking of innovating on this product? Then the same thing you do for your department. What are the current things that customers or perhaps your employees are doing now, or the operations that are being carried out in each of the departments? And you begin to ask yourself, what is the future of work as relates to this particular department? And what kind of skills will be needed to suit this future of work? And then you begin to work in line with those things. Get your team to be agile. Okay, and you could also look at it from the whole economic perspective and begin to ask yourself, what disruption could you bring to the economy right now that will give you a larger market share and that will drive attention towards your market, right? Those are very key questions, and you need to keep asking those questions daily. You don't ask them weekly, you don't ask them monthly, you ask those questions daily, because as far as agile project management is concerned, it's something you do every day. As you interact with your customers, as your customers buy your products every day, you must keep on having some feedback that will help you develop better values for them. So inevitably, you should come up with new value system every day. Okay, if you check out some apps in your phone, you find that every week they ask you to update. Those things are a product of agile methodologies, and all of those things they ask you to do are product of how you use the app and all of that. So it gives them some kind of idea what could be done next about this app. So no matter what you're doing, whether you're a service person, whether you are a product person, whether you're into manufacturing, you're into production, no matter what you're doing, agile project management approaches could actually give you a better approach. Even in your negotiation approaches, you could adopt agile project management approaches. In your contract bidding, you could adopt agile project management approaches. In your marketing approaches, you could adopt agile project management. So whichever approach, whichever strategy you want to use, you could actually imbibe or embed agile project approaches to them, only if we could find out the right questions to ask and then provide answers to those questions, as they will help us in providing better quality and providing better service to customers, and then helping us get best market share at the end of the day. So agile approaches or agile project management approaches involve small iterations of products that are defined, developed, and tested in short period, and iterations improve the working deliverables to meet clients' requirements. An agile project produces, produces and delivers work in short bursts or sprints. So you remember what I said about that chicken? So you keep giving it 1 ear of corn per time, and it keep coming to you. Okay, never you give your customer a perception that you are just a drop of water. Give your customer a perception that you're a river that cannot run dry. So for every time it comes to drink, it has something to drink on. So you always provide, you become a source to the satisfaction of his or ever-growing need. And as you serve customers per time, you pay attention to what they are saying. You pay attention to what they are saying. Now, if you put, or if you take a look at agile organizations that are agile, let me give you an instance. When you take a look at some of the banks, so the bank started as just financial service, and with time it went to adopting POS, adopting online banking, adopting ATM. Then as time progresses, they began to adopt registrars, to have their own registrar to sell their stocks. Then at some point, they started having their own insurance companies. Now, sometimes some banks currently have what do you call it? Hospitals. Some banks currently have hospitals. Some banks currently have transport companies. Okay, so question is, how did they come about having transport companies? How did they come about having hospitals? How did they come about having insurance companies? All of these are product of what customers are communicating with them. So as you're transacting with them, you're providing information on what you're transacting on. So it gives them an idea of what the customer at this point needs. Now, if you have a customer base of say 5 million people, and these 5 million people, you're sure that you're going to get about 2 million people to patronize you if you are going to start a marketing agency firm. Won't you do that? You're simply going to pay attention to what they are telling you. They might not come to you clearly and say, I want you to start a marketing agency. No, but from the information they clearly provide during your transaction era, they tell you exactly what their needs are. So if I'm able to draw a survey that tells me that out of 5 million of my customers, they are always looking for insurance. Out of 5 million, 2 million are looking for insurance. 3 million are looking for, they are booking transport. And to tell you that banks are actually doing transport, you can use your app, banking app, to book your flights, is it not? Some of them are doing cinema. Some of them are doing telecom. In fact, virtually every bank is doing telecom. So you recharge through your app, you book your flights through your app, you book your hotel reservations through your app, and all of those. So if you look at the bank, essentially, they inevitably apply agile approaches to product development. They might not have a company branch where they say this one is responsible for transport, or that one is responsible for hospitality and tourism, and that one is responsible. But if you look at it, they've just integrated all of their businesses in one simple device that is serving the millions of customers they have. So the question is, how can you, or how can we develop products in small format that can help customers get satisfied while they remain glued to the major services that we deliver? So begin to ask yourself this question and begin to think about it critically. Okay, begin to think about it critically. Now, just as a tip, we are not saying, I'm not saying this for you to say it out, but just like a clue. Now, in IPM, in the next, by 2025, 2035 rather, we're expecting to start the IPM University, right? Okay. But in recent time, we found out that we can actually start our MBA programs and DBA programs without having to have a big mansion anywhere. So by this time next year, we expect to have gotten all the accreditations needed to kickstart the MBAs and the DBA programs. All right, by this time next year. Now, how did we get that? We keep getting this question of, can we use this certification to go for MBA? Can we use this certification to go for PhD? Can we use this certification to pursue this or pursue that? So if we have the relevant universities from around the world who will partner with us in delivering these things, we would have solved the problem of, can we use this? Can we use that? Can we do this? Can we do that? That customers are not telling you to go and start a university, but inevitably their communication is telling you that, yes, if you can have this, you would have reduced some stress from us and on us. Okay. Now we are currently improving on our mobile app, okay, for learning, which will help clients to, just the way you download Zoom. So you download it and you have your training without having to bother about whether you have Zoom or not. So when class starts, you log in and have your class, and you could do everything you want to do. Write your exam, write your test, do everything, have a class replay and all of that in just an app. And we are currently working on it. Are customers telling you to go and do that? No. But when somebody keep telling you that network disturbed me, I was on transit, so I couldn't join the class, and keep asking you, where can I get the video classes and all of that? That should give you an information that there is something else that needs to be improved on. Okay, that should give you an indication that there is something else that needs. So when you have the untold, unspoken voices speaking to your business, to your customers, you need to sit down and begin to decide the agile approach you could adopt in satisfying your customers. As a matter of fact, what we want to do in business is to ensure that we don't give our customers an option to go and find another option somewhere. What's the difference between a chain store or multiple store supermarket versus a supermarket that is not chain store? A chain store simply tells you that everything you want, you get it here. But some other supermarkets tell you that, okay, this supermarket is essentially for stocks, food stocks. This one is essentially for this or that. So if you're going to get to a chain store is possibly going to keep you more coming, because you're possibly going to have that feeling that if you go to a chain store, you have all your issues sorted out. Than when going to a single store supermarket where you only buy one thing, then you have to go to another place to buy another thing. You go to another place to buy another thing, and that does not really satisfy customers. So customers want to have all values from one spot. So as a business, as a service provider, as a product provider, what are the other spring outs that customers really give you hints about that you've not paid attention to? You need to start thinking about it. You need to start finding out the best approach you could use to integrate that value to your business that can actually solve customers' problem without having to keep moving up and down. For any time a customer asks you about a particular product, there is what you can actually offer, and you're not offering it, and he asks you, do you know where I can get this? Just note that for any time customer asks you that question, there is a possibility that that customer, if he gets to where he gets that product or that service in line with the one you offered, he might possibly not return back to you, because he will feel comfortable going to one place to get all his or her issues resolved than to come to one place, resolve one here, then go to another place, resolve two, go to another place, resolve three. So you get to understand what I'm trying to talk about right now. So find out from your business, sit down with your business, sit down with your product, sit down with your customer surveys, sit down with your departments, your different operations, and find out the best approaches you could actually use and the necessary improvement that need to be made. Improvement, you must make improvement a daily routine in your business. Just like the way you make improvement a daily routine in your career, you must make improvement a daily routine in your business. Customers want to always be wowed about products they use. They want to be wowed about services they use. They want to be wowed about the way we serve them. They want to be wowed about the way we change our seat, the way we change our AC, the way we just changed our color, the way we repainted it, the way we changed our logo. They just want to be wowed. Okay. Now let me ask a simple question. Microsoft every day changes or bring out Microsoft 2010, Microsoft 2016. Now, let me ask, has the format changed? The format has not changed. It is still the same docs. It's still the same PDF. It's still the same PPT. It's still the same Microsoft Groove. It's still the same Microsoft Project Professional. It's still the same thing, the same format. Nothing has changed. The same information you type on 2003 and save it, the same way you type it on 2016, 2020 and save it. It doesn't really change, but if you look at it, what really changes is just the user interface. Okay, that's what really changes, the user interface, and maybe some collaborations that come alongside with some of those things. So you can now do your work and save it online, create accounts directly online without having to bother about your system getting crashed and all of that. But basically, the root system or the root need why Microsoft was developed is just the same problem they're solving. So why will you keep your product for 5 years without improvement? Why will you keep it for a whole year without improvement? Why will you keep it for 20 years without? In fact, you can't even survive 2 years in this present era without improving on your product. That's just a simple fact. 12 months is a risk to your product if you did not improve on it. 12 months is a very big risk. Because why? Companies are innovating every day. New products are coming out every day. So competition is rising every day. So if that be the case, Agile project management methodologies must be core to your operations, must be core to your product development, to your market development, to all of the development you want to have. All right. So that's very, very important. That's very, very important. So in Agile project management, designers, developers, and business people work together simultaneously. So quickly, let's look at the Agile Manifesto. We'll be rounding up this class by 12 o'clock. I trust to have gone a feet by 12. So we'll be rounding up by 12. And then when we come back in the evening, we'll be rounding up the whole program. The Agile Manifesto is made up of 12 supporting principles and 4 foundational values, which guides the Agile methodology for software development. Now, it's not, in this case now, it's not just for software development, but for all business development. Okay, remember I said that Agile project management started essentially from the software industry, but it has moved to every other part of our business. All right, and from what I've been explaining, you agree with me that the Agile project management is not just a software alone, is just inevitable to all of the approaches in our businesses. So quickly, let's look at the 4 foundational Agile values. Agile project management comprises of the 4 values in different manners, but they depend on the 4 values as the guiding principles for the development and delivery of functioning and high quality products. So the first value, or the first foundational value, is individuals and interactions over processes and tools. So you remember what I spoke about using the case of a bank. So when a bank, you constantly use the ATM, the way you use the ATM, how you often use the ATM and all of that, the information you always want to have on the ATM, we tell the bank, or we provide some data to the bank on what needs to be improved on. Now, when you constantly come to the bank, go to the customer service, you're making requests, you're asking questions upon questions, those interactions give them an insight. When you use your app, load your phone, subscribe to your DSTV, buy your airtime, buy your air ticket, and all of that, it gives them an information. So our interaction with the tools, with the services, with the systems that our businesses provide for us, give the businesses feedback on what to improve on and what not to improve on, what to eliminate and what not to eliminate. All right. So that's very, very important. All right. Now, the next value is working software over comprehensive documentation. Working software over comprehensive documentation. So comprehensive documentation is good, but remember that in this case, Agile project management works by iteration. So it works in bursts, it works in sprints, all right, in smaller versions. All right. So instead of waiting for a comprehensive documentation on how to get the whole product perfect and the like, we could get the smaller versions of these products working. As we are getting the smaller versions, we're getting documentations on those areas. Then as we keep building on this software, we keep having improvements on documentation. Remember, we have project documents updates, right? So we keep having updates till the day we finally have a very big document that will tell us where we started from to where we are. And will give us information on lessons learned, historic information on everything that transpired between us and customers, the interactions that customers has provided, feedback and all of that. So you don't have to wait till it's perfect before you deliver it. All you need to ensure is that you have a working, high quality product per time that will satisfy customer needs per time. Then the next one is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So all of the development we are going to have is going to be based on the information provided by the customers, either through a voiced recommendation or the unvoiced recommendations. Okay, either the voiced recommendations or the unvoiced recommendation. In fact, as a matter of reality, for those of us in business and for those of us in the workplaces, we need to pay more attention to the unheard voices of customer, and that's where emotional intelligence become critical. Okay, that's where emotional intelligence become critical. We need to pay attention to the unheard voices of the customer, because sometimes what customer is saying is different from his reaction, is different from her reaction. You need to find the root cause of those reactions. You need to find the emotions responsible for those reactions. You need to find out the triggers responsible for those emotions. If you are able to handle those triggers, you'll be shocked the next time the kind of emotional display the customer will give you. So we need to collaborate with customers as to surveys, as to the unheard voices, as to the heard voices and all of that. And also paying attention to their emotional displays. We need to pay attention to it. That will help us quite a lot. That will help us quite a lot. Then the last value there is responding to change, overflowing a structured plan. Of course, I've mentioned that one of the core necessities of Agile project management is to adapt to change. Flexibility is core to Agile project management. You see, if we have come to that point of saying it must be done this way, it must be done this way, it must be done this way, we may come to a point that we may lose the market, just like Nokia did, just like Kodak did. But if we pay attention to flexibility, there is something I noticed. There is something I noticed in most organizations these days. Organizations are becoming much more agile than before. For instance, you could schedule operations today. By the time you're coming back tomorrow, your company will tell you that this operation scheduled is no longer the operations we are carrying out. This is not the operation we are carrying out. You might get angry about it, yes, but the truth is that the new operation that have been developed is going to give the highest possible value at that time, not just to the organization, but to the customer. So we need to pay attention to flexibility. One of the core areas of skills that we must keep developing is on the area of emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence is one of the areas that keeps us highly flexible. Okay, emotional intelligent people are highly flexible. So they easily respond to change. They expect change every now and then. They don't feel disappointed. They don't feel discouraged because they believe that change is part of consistency. Change is part of being consistent. Change is part of consistency. So instead of being so structured, so rigid, we need to open up to having flexible plans. That will help us. Okay, that will help us. The most important thing we need to keep to mind while adopting flexibility or adopting dynamic approaches to change is to make sure that customers' scope of work per time is well understood, is well documented. Requirements are well caught, requirements are well managed. That's the most important thing. I will repeat that again. As changes keep occurring, one of the most important things we must pay attention to is to make sure that we communicate effectively with customers, with stakeholders, with sponsors to ensure that the stakeholders' requirements, the stakeholders' needs are well collected, and then approaches are put in place to meet up those things. And we must ensure to document those stakeholders' requirements. As the changes keep coming up, we must pay attention to documenting the changes. And we must get the stakeholder to endorse those changes to avoid issues of, that's not what I say, that's not what I agreed on. It must be a well thought out, cleared information understood by both parties and signed up so that legally it can be binding any day, anytime. I've encouraged project managers over and over again, please don't go on change without a full documentation of that change and full approval of that change. Don't allow a stakeholder just come and tell you, is it not better you do it this way? Is it not better you do it this way? Is a change to the baseline. Is a change to the baseline. Bring the baseline. Show the stakeholder, this is what the baseline says. So if you want us to change it this way, can you please sign on this change so that when we integrate it, there won't be challenge tomorrow? Have you ever wondered why, if you have any alteration in the bank, they ask you to sign on it? Is the checkbook not yours? It obviously is yours. But to avoid issues of, don't you see that this is not my signature? How can I be signing my signature this way? You reiterate it again. You endorse it. So we must pay attention to it. Now, so these 4 values must be understood. First one, I'll repeat again, individuals and interaction over processes and tools. So there must be constant interactions. There must be, constant interactions with customers. And this interaction could be the interaction they do with the processes, the systems that our services provide to them. They will have working product over comprehensive documentation. They will have customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and they will have responding to change over following a structured plan. I would like to be sure that everyone is following me right now. So please, if you did not understand these values and perhaps how to apply them, please let me know. If there is an area in this particular dimension that you did not understand, because this is going to be the foundation to everything we are going to be doing. If there is something here you did not understand, please feel free, ask me, I will answer it right now. If you wish to raise your hand, please, you can raise your hand. If you wish to put it in the chat room, please feel free to put it in the chat room. I'm waiting. If there is a question, please ask me. If you understood it, okay, can you go after it again? I would like to be sure, essentially, the area that you don't understand, so that I will clarify it. Okay, so Aisha said, I don't understand the working software part. Okay, please, Aisha, I made a statement here when I was explaining. I said the Agile project management started in the software industry. So most of the things you hear about Agile project management will lead you to software. But in this case, it mustn't be a software. So you could have a working product, a working service, a working deliverable over comprehensive documentation. So let's take, for instance, you used to fry akara. Okay. If you've ever fried akara before, you find out that the akara, the way you fry akara of 10 naira and the way you fry akara of 50 naira and the way you fry akara of 100 naira is not the same way. So you could start with the smaller version of the 10 naira akara. Customers will be buying that one. Then you move to the one of 20 naira. Obviously, before the one of 20 naira will be done, they would have gotten some level of satisfaction with the 10 naira akara. Then you will gradually move them to the 20 naira akara. As they are dealing with the 20 naira akara, you are improving to get the 50 naira akara. You graduate them from 20 to 50. Why they're on 50? You're working on graduating them to 100. Now, if we keep on waiting till we get to 100 before they buy the akara, they might not have the patience to wait there. So in this case, you could replace the working software with your own company issue. So it could be working service over a comprehensive documentation, working product over a comprehensive documentation, or working career over a comprehensive CV. Okay, Aisha. Aisha, did you understand that? Asha, please, I would like to confirm that you understood that. All right, thank you. All right, from Ola Opa Oyelakin, he said, so what are the sprints? Sprints are phases. In the traditional project, we call it phases. So sprints are phases, like milestones. Okay, so the difference between the project management phases in the traditional project management, and when we talk about sprints in the agile project management approach, in phases, like the traditional project management phases give you a particular deliverable that cannot be used independent of the overall project deliverable. Okay, it cannot be used independent of the overall project, but in a sprint can give you something to work with while waiting for the other one that will come out. So I just gave an example. Now let's say instead of frying 100 naira akara first, you fry 10 naira akara. That's a sprint. Then you fry 20 naira akara. That's another sprint. But the hope of the whole matter is that we want to fry and want customers to buy 100 naira akara. There's a possibility that if you fry 100 naira akara at once, people might not have the patience, and people might even tell you, 100 naira is too much. I want to buy 10 naira old, and at that point you don't have it. So sprint helps you to graduate your customers' desire to satisfying their need from a smaller graduation to a bigger graduation. Olokwa Oyelakin, please, does that make sense to you? Please, I would like to confirm. Oyelakin, please, I would like to confirm that you understood what sprints are in this case. Olokwa, if you can hear me, please, I need you to confirm that you understood what I just said. All right, thank you. So from Nuruddin, he said, does the approach support a certain climax in growth of an organization? Meaning, must you have tight down level to meet or keeps changing dynamically? Okay, Mr. Nuruddin, I would just want you to pay attention to one thing here. And that thing is that customers' behavior change daily. In fact, to say customer behavior change daily is like too much. Customers' behavior change every minute. Customers' behavior change every minute. So what Agile project management is trying to help us do is that we must stay abreast of ensuring that as customer behaviors change, we meet up with those changes as they are changing. So we must keep up with highest level of flexibility. There is no climax in this case. You must keep on developing. You must keep on brainstorming. You must keep on using the data available to you as per the trends of customer behavior changes. You must use those information to keep on improving. Okay, you must keep on improving. So as customers come to your market every day, they tell you something different, something new. And those things they are telling is an indication of the next direction of behavior they want to adopt. Okay, so it's important we pay attention to that. And the essence of managing these changes is to ensure sustainability, is to ensure continuity, is to ensure scalability. And if these three things are in place, then obviously business growth is inevitable. Please, Mr. Nuruddin, did you understand that? Did you understand that? Please, if you understood it, I will need you to please confirm. So inevitably is just to keep challenging your brain every day, challenging your service every day, challenging the quality of your product every day, just for the purpose of getting it better. All right. Please, Mr. Nuruddin, are we together? Please, if you did understand it a little, please kindly confirm. Okay, from Sylvester, I say, please explain customer collaboration over contract negotiation again. All right, thank you so much. I will definitely explain that. All right, thank you, Nuruddin. Okay, so Mr. Sylvester, please, I need you to pay attention to this. I need to pay attention to this. How many of us have noticed that one of the reasons why we don't get contracts is budget? How many of us have noticed that? If you've ever noticed, or if you've ever had a situation where you lost a project, yes, you were very good at what you're doing, but you lost a project because of budget. The customer feels that the budget was higher. and you were not ready to amend that budget and you lost the contract. If you've ever had such an issue, please type 1 in the chat room. Let's be sure, because that will help us in explaining this customer collaboration. Okay, so thank you so much. Now, something happened yesterday. I needed some dollar to augment the one I have, because I needed to buy some things. So I called somebody from the BDC, Bureau de Change, yep. And I asked him how much is dollar. He told me 467. And this is how I buy dollar from virtually every now and then. So I asked him, I said, Mr. Nasiru, can't you do something? I'm going to pay you 460. He said, sir, I will wait. Or perhaps you wait. When I get the one of 460, I will let you know. Okay, I will let you know. He didn't outrightly tell me, no, sir, I will not sell 460. He says, sir, just wait. When I get the one of 460, I will let you know. That is a form of emotionally getting me to feel like, yes, there will be a way out at the end of the day. Now, for those of us that are always into negotiation and into bidding, please listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. Before you develop any budget, please have an interaction with your customer. Find out the scope, find out his budget level. Some customers will tell you, just go and give us your budget. No, find out his budget level. Now, when you find out his budget level, try to explain to him where his budget level can stop as regards the project. And give him several options. Keep dropping so many cons that he can pick from. That's the collaboration we are talking about now. Don't just drop one con and expect him to just eat that one and get satisfied. Drop as so many years of corn as possible. When he's done with picking this one, he picks this one, he picks that one. At the end of the day, what you want to do is serve him at the level of quality that he expects, at the level of budget that he has. So budget equal to quality. Did you get that now? So don't just rush into a project and start developing budget and start sending. If you have the need, or if there is a way to interact with the customer, please interact with the customer before you go developing terms and conditions and all of that. Now, somebody could say, but in a case of government project, you don't need to go have a meeting with government before you raise budget. Now let's get something very clear. Government publishes its terms and conditions before it starts. So in some cases, they will give you indications. They give you terms of reference. That already is a form of collaboration. That's what they would have still told you if you were to have a meeting with them. The same thing with some NGOs, the same thing with some other companies. They will publish their terms of reference. Those terms of reference are indications. Now, there is something I always encourage project managers to do, especially when it comes to bidding and negotiation. Please try to get an insider to that company or get an expert in that area who has done subject matter projects like what you want to do. They will give you a very great value. They will tell you how they interacted with their customers. They will tell you how customers really behave as per that particular kind of project. And that will help you. That will help you. Okay? So by so doing, you are actually adopting agile approaches. The customer will be so excited. You will feel free to write or feel free to go on with your project. Now, there is something also I noticed, and I would like you to confirm with 1 if you've ever had this kind of approach. Customer gave you a project. At the end of the day, maybe you didn't have all the money, but you are able to come up with a certain project value that can serve him pending when you have all the money for the remaining project. Then immediately you started the project and he saw that, this opportunity this person is giving me is great. All of a sudden, the money that he didn't have started coming out and he started telling you, let's add this one. The things that he said was going to be forgotten, he started telling you, let's add this one. Let's add that one. Let's add the other one. Let's add the other one. And by the time you know it, the project keep moving from one sprint to another sprint to another sprint till when you finally get to the final sprint. Have you ever had such a project before? It started from, oh, we don't have money, and it's okay, let's start from what we have. And all of a sudden, they keep graduating. The people that never had money, because they are seeing the value of what you're doing, they automatically start adding and adding and adding and adding and adding. By the time you know it, the project was done. Okay, so if you've ever had that kind of experience before, just type 1-1. I'm seeing someone type 1-1 in the chat room. If you've ever had such an experience, just type 1-1. Okay, so those are examples of collaboration over contract negotiation. If you keep negotiating and negotiating and negotiating, you might not have it. And I've learned not to negotiate until, in fact, let the customer be the one to negotiate. Tell us your spec, then let's give you the value for that spec, especially when it comes to budget. The most, if I might not be mistaken, but one of the most sensitive part of negotiation is bidding. Budgeting is bidding. One of the most sensitive part of project bidding is the budget side, monetary aspect. No matter how good you are, finance can take you out of that project. Okay. All right. So Mr. Sylvester, please, if you understood a little of that explanation, can you please kindly state in the chat room, kindly confirm that yes, you understood it so that we can move on. Okay, from Adetunji, he said, I think this explanation is similar to Nokia's approach in having mobile phone for all. Okay, that was the approach, but they didn't, when change started coming, they didn't buy the change earlier. So they have a vision, but the approach to the vision was mad. Okay. Okay, then Malik said, Agile approach is being adopted by Toyota, Honda, all of them actually. Okay. Okay, and Ahmed said, can you please outline in terms project management versus Agile project management versus, of course, we'll get to that place, we'll get there. All right, so since we've understood it a little at this point, I think we can move on. Can we proceed? Please, I need your consent to proceed. Or is there any other question? If there is any other question, let me know. If I should proceed, please let me know. Please, if there is any other question, let me know if I should proceed. Please, I need your consent to proceed. Time, we need to be agile now. So as we teach, we make sure you understand before we proceed. So that even if we don't get to the last of everything in this class, but for everyone you understand, you can apply it. All right, I'm waiting. Should I proceed? Yes, or there's another question. Please, I need your consent to proceed. Okay, so I have yes, proceed. All right, thank you. Okay, so let's quickly look at Agile values. Individual interactions. Let's see the explanations now and how it will help us. Individuals and interactions over processes and tools. People are more important than processes or tools. People work to meet the project requirements. So make sure you pay attention to people because they are going to give you the most of the information. High-performing, engaged, accountable teams accomplish objectives with focus on sharing information, team communication, and learning from feedback. People are more receptive to change and more likely to meet customer requirements. Working product or service or software over comprehensive documentation. In traditional project management, more time is spent on documenting and getting the approvals from clients. Agile streamlines the documentation process to provide the developer with the relevant data to complete his work without getting overloaded with extensive amount of data. So you just need enough information to produce or to work on a sprint per time. Agile process stresses on delivering a working prototype for clients that can be reworked to fulfill client requirements than on providing detailed documentation. Now we have customer collaboration over contract negotiation. In traditional development models, requirement for product is often negotiated with clients. Client is not involved during the process of development. Agile project promote collaborative working between team working on project and the client. Client is involved with team, providing constant and regular feedback on deliverables and products. Client feedback makes it easier for the development team to meet its requirements. Agile focuses on quality, customer satisfaction, teamwork, and effective management. Now, responding to change over following a structured plan. Agile methods combines planning with execution. So planning and execution work hand in hand. So they become overlapping approaches here. Now, Agile creates a working attitude that helps team to efficiently integrate changes in requirements. In Agile, the small iterations help in adding new features into new next iteration. Changes provide additional value and help in improving the project. Tip: sprint should always be fast-paced, and so team meetings should be held as stand-up meetings to save time and keep the work moving fast. Now, quickly, let's look at the 12 supporting Agile principles. 12 supporting Agile principles. Please, I would like us to pay attention to this, and I would like us to understand them. We understand them so that we can apply them even from now. And if you've been applying them, you've not paid attention to them, please, you need to understand that these principles are key to sustainability, to scalability, and to continuity in business, and especially customer satisfaction and loyalty. Very, very important. So these 12 principles, we are going to look at them one after the other, irrespective of whether you're in the service industry, product industry, NGO, IGO, government, or whatsoever. It doesn't matter. These 12 principles are applicable to everything as regards to the workplace. So let's look at them one after the other. The first one is regular delivery of working software. Remember, in this case, we say you could replace the software with product or service or prototype. So regular delivery of working product, working prototype, working service, working deliverable, working whatsoever that is your own. Okay, regular deliverable of something that is working from the entire project, something that is working. Okay, something that is working. Now, I am going to go back a little to finding out or to making some examples with regards to the bank. Now, in the earlier times, when bank adopted using information to send better messages, send emails, send things and all of that, it was quite enticing. But have you noticed that it is no longer enticing now? People really don't get to pay more attention to birthday messages again. Before, it was a unique value, but now it's no longer a unique value. Now, what is more important to a customer now? The most important thing to a customer now is credit alert or debit alert. If you don't send a customer debit alert or credit alert, you'll be causing trouble. You'll be wreaking havoc. If he deposits and he doesn't get credit alert, it's war. But in most cases, if he debits and his account is still full, he doesn't really bother about it. Okay, so regular delivery of working service, working product, working milestone, working should always be there. Okay, that regular delivery is a way of ensuring regular communication. It's a way of buying the heart of customers towards you always. Okay, it's a way of buying the customers heart towards you always. Now, I just said something as a hint. By this time next year, we hope to start our MBA programs. And do you know that there are some people in this class that will join us in those MBA programs and DBA programs? That the answer is true. Yes, all we need to do is make sure that everything we are doing with everyone at this point, we are doing it straight up, we're doing it with all trust, we are doing it with all sincerity and all transparency. By the time you get the information of an MBA, some people naturally want to apply because there is a place they trust and they believe these people can always deliver. And by the time you finish your MBA and was okay, after your MBA, you go to Canada and do 1 year IT and come back. People will definitely come. By constantly delivering those their expectations, they will want to be there. Okay, they just want to be there. All right. Please, I'm not saying that after your MBA, you go to Canada. I'm just giving an example. Before you come and say, but you say during the class, if you finish, you go to Canada. We are not working for you to go to Canada. But that could be part of the value proposition as we keep on going on. Okay? Because we want you to hang around forever and ever. We don't want you to come and go. After 5 years, we now call you, say, this is why you remembered me today. We don't want to remember you today. We want you to be there every day. Okay? Every business should work on having their customers being there every day. Okay? Being there every day. Not, this is why you remembered me today. Please, that's not a good customer service language. All right? So, keep on delivering regular value to your customers every day, every single time. It is possible to regularly deliver a working value or software in or product or service in a shorter time frame as the team works on small sprints or iterations. Number 2, motivate, support, and trust the people involved. Motivate, support, and trust the people involved. Motivate, support, and trust your team. Trust your sponsors. Trust your stakeholders. Trust your customers. Trust. Motivate them with whatsoever you need to motivate them. That's very, very important. Motivate, support, and trust the people involved. Trustworthy and motivated teams are more likely to deliver their best work. Give the teams an environment and support they needed, and trust them to get the job done. Number 3, agile processes promote consistent development pace. So you need to adopt agile approaches. Remember those unheard voices from the customers. Remember those trends of change from the marketplace. Remember the trend of change in technology. Remember the trend of change in politics. In Nigeria, we are obvious now that the trend of politics is changing and it is going to affect the economy, whether we believe it or yes. The trend of politics in Nigeria today is changing and it's going to affect the economy, whether we believe it or yes, it's going to affect the economy. All right. By the time we get to have electioneering approaches done electronically, obviously it's going to affect the way businesses are done. It's going to affect the assurance investors will have in the economy during political periods or during electioneering periods. Okay, so agile approaches will help us keep up with highest level of quality and highest level of customer satisfaction. So teams establish a repeatable and constant pace at which they can deliver working product. And the 4th one is self-organizing teams inspires the best designs, architectures, and requirements. Skilled and motivated teams who take ownership, have decision-making power, communicate regularly, and share ideas that deliver quality products. So you must have to develop autonomous work teams. Okay, the teams that have the power to make their own decisions, and then you provide support to them. Okay. One of the problems of the Nigerian political system is that it's non-autonomous. All the whole power lies in the federal system. Okay, so even the governors, before they do something, they need to go to the federal government to receive power. So we are having a non-autonomous, non-flexible political system, and that is affecting the economy. That is affecting everything around the economy. All right, but if we have a decentralized system that each region will have to have the power to manage their resources, have the power to develop their areas as they want, have the power to police their own areas, and you'll find that development will become even spread. Yes, development will become even spread because it will end up in economic development competition rather than tribal competition, rather than political competition, rather than religious competition. We now have economic competition. So people will have better management systems to harness their own resources and use it for the betterment of the entire country. Okay, so we will no longer have loop-sided development. Maybe Lagos is developed, Nasarawa is not developed, Abuja is developed, Jigawa is not developed. No. So we can actually have an even spread. Now there is an imagination that says that the federalism system of government, if it were to be true anyway, the federalism system of government allows for even distribution of resources. But in Nigeria, we know that we are not practicing true federalism. Yes, we are not practicing true federalism. All right. So in such case, it causes, or it makes development unequal. Okay, it makes development unequal. All right. Now, if you check the development that is going on in Abuja, compare it with the development that is going on in Jigawa State or Kebbi State or Adamawa State or Borno State, it cannot be compared. But these resources that are used in Abuja are the same resources that we are gotten from these states, and they are now drawn to a central region where the power is delivered. Every day in Abuja, they are building bridges, building roads. But how many states in Nigeria are building bridges and building roads every day, apart from Lagos? Okay, so we need to have self-organizing teams, self-motivated teams, autonomous teams that have ownership of their own regions, right? Then we have customer satisfaction through rapid and continuous delivery of valuable product or service. Clients are more satisfied and happy when they get working product at regular intervals, as opposed to waiting for long durations between releases. So remember, all we want to do is to have this customer sit around, stay long. Let him be part of the business. Let him be part of the things we are running. Let him be part of the things we are doing. Okay, that's all we want to do. So giving him 1 ear of corn and then allowing him to zoom off and then go and find another ear of corn somewhere, he might keep going till he find a place that he find where there is a continuous drop of ears of corn. He will remain there and forget about you. So the day you call him back to remind him of your products, this one you remembered me today. That is not a good one. So we must keep up continuous delivery for the purpose of customer satisfaction. Then we have the next one: functional and working product is the primary measure of progress. So for any time you are working as an agile team, there must be continuous development or continuous release of working products or services. That will become the measure of the fact that, yes, we are really, our brain is working, we are really challenging the status quo and all of that. So the ultimate factor that measures progress is delivering a working and functional product to the client. Then we have the 7 to our regular reflections on how to become more effective. Our self-improvement process, process improvement, advancing skills, technique help team members work more efficiently. Now, I want to say something here. You cannot really be agile in your operations without being agile in your skills enhancement and self-development. The true driver of agile approaches is the depth of skills, the depth of knowledge, the depth of competencies available to an organization. I'll repeat that again. No organization can truly be agile or be more agile than the capacity of the staff it has. And the capacity of the staff is going to be around their skills level, their competency level, their knowledge level, their emotional intelligence level, their behavioral skills, their leadership skills. All of these things are going to form the basics for an agile team. So self-improvement is key. Process improvement is key. Advancing our skills is key. So we must keep learning every day. We must keep learning every day. Now, there is something we are currently working on, and maybe I will just put that as a hint here. And if it materializes, you'll get that in your email. We are currently working with CIMC to give 2 certifications as they are bringing their certification. So we have the Chartered Project Management Professional, and then we have the Certified Agile Project Management Professional. So I have 2 certifications, prospectively 2 certifications coming out from here. So you have the Certified Chartered Project Management Professional, and then you have the Certified Agile Management Practitioner. Yes, Agile Project Management Practitioner. So that is going to be part of the values we'll be giving to those who are going for the Agile, for the chartered project management. We are currently working on it. We just want to make sure that the price does not increase. We just want to make sure that within the value we've already negotiated, we should be able to get all the values at this point, so that you don't just get to have project management and not have Agile. So we will try and work our best and keep negotiating till we ensure you have the Agile project management practitioner and chartered Agile project manager. All right. So that's very, very important, because that is part of your self-improvement. That's part of your skills. And that's part of the techniques you're going to be using. And that is also going to give you dual ownership of two different skills, project management and Agile project management. All right, so that will help us and help you also. Please don't be afraid. There is no additional cost to that. We ensure that there is no additional cost to that. But remember, I just said it's a tip. It's something we are working on. And as soon as we get that done, we communicate that with you. Thank you so much for understanding. Please don't write to us and say you said. I'm just saying we are working on it. Okay, and we will communicate as soon as we have the approval for that. And I'm sure we will get the approval. Okay, I'm definitely will get the approval. All right, so that as you're getting your chartered from CIMC, you also get the Agile project practitioner. So you use one stone to kill as many birds as possible. So number 8, accommodate changing requirements throughout the development process. Be open to change, accommodate changes as much as possible. Agile's processes harness the ability to avoid delays when the feature or requirement is changed. They will have the night one constant attention to design enhancements and technical detail. The correct skills and good design confirms that the team can maintain the tempo, continuously improve the product, and sustain change. Then collaboration between the client and developers through the project. Close daily cooperation between clients and developers throughout the project ensure that better decisions made when the business and technical teams are aligned. 11, simplicity. The art of developing the correct amount of work to get the job done is essential. Please don't create ambiguous work systems. Create simple work systems, simple job designs, simple job roles, simple job functions, so that it will be easy to understand. Don't create ambiguity. Stop using grammar that even you and the person that is going to do the work doesn't understand. Okay. Then we have the 12th one, enable face-to-face interactions. Now, remember we talked about collaborations, customer collaborations over contract negotiations. As much as you can, one of the things that is supported in Agile project management is face-to-face interactions. Let me make a little digression. I know that there are people that marry online or marry without seeing the person they are marrying. But I will carefully say that 99% and more of the marriages that take place are face-to-face interaction. What does this mean? There is a kind of emotional transfer that happens when we have face-to-face interaction. You can read emotions when you're seeing the person. You can know what else to do to get yourself back on track. Okay, you can get yourself back on track. All right. So that is very, very important. Something happened, I think it was in February, after we had our contract with Glow. We had another opportunity with International Project Management Association, Netherlands. They are actually the oldest project management association in the world, IPMA. So they needed me to be one of their facilitators, and their country head in Nigeria, I spoke with him. So we fixed a meeting. Just listen to me. We fixed a meeting, and he said, okay, that what is the best approach to evaluate myself? I said the best approach is to call your staff, call your team. I'll deliver project management class in 30 minutes to them. and then you make your analysis or you draw your conclusions. So he said, okay. So he gathered the people, and I came to the office, made the presentations and all of that. Just listen though. While I was making the presentation, I said something that was practically correct. It was practically correct, but according to their own competency booklet, it was not seeming like it was tallying with what I said. So by looking at them, I just found that they were looking like this information is different from our own information. What I did quickly was to create a synergy between what they know and what is currently on ground. Okay, and they quickly agree with me. That is one of the functions of face-to-face interaction. By the time I said what was recent, they looked at me like, this is not the same thing as what we have here. I quickly created a synergy between what they knew and what is the current knowledge trend. And they were able to agree with me. So face-to-face has a lot to do as far as delivering Agile project is concerned. Okay, so the most effective and efficient method of communication when the development teams conduct face-to-face conversation. All right. So now let's go back and go through these supporting principles once again. The first one is regular delivery of working product or service or prototype. Then the second one is motivating, supporting, and trusting the people involved. The third one is agile processes promote consistent development pace. The next one is self-organizing teams inspire the best designs, architectures, and requirements. The fifth one is customer satisfaction through rapid and continuous delivery of valuable software. The next one is functional and working software or working product is the primary measure of progress. Regular reflection on how to become more effective is very important. Accommodate changing requirements throughout the development process. Constant attention to design enhancement and technical detail. Collaboration between the clients and developers through the project phase, your project. Simplicity, and finally, face-to-face interactions. Okay, so these are all the principles in Agile project management. So tip, the most efficient way to manage an Agile project is to continuously gain client feedback and implement through rapid iterations. Okay, before we look at this example, please, do I have any questions so far? Do I have any question? Is there a place you did not understand or something you would like me to clarify? Please go ahead, I will do such. Please, if there is a place that needs clarification as regards to Agile approaches, please do let me know. You can type in the chat room, you can raise your hand, whichever one that best suits you. But if you understood it and you think you can work with it, you can just tell me to proceed. I'm waiting. Please, if I should proceed, let me know. If I have a question, let me know, please. Should I proceed? All right, thank you. So quickly, let's look at this. Look at this case study to understand the importance of Agile project management. WBS Bank. WBS Bank is a leading provider of financial services and products. It has homologous customer base spread across several countries. Recently, an internal technology assessment brought out a new finding for WBS Bank management. They found that the technology used in internet banking transactions and mobile app transactions is not very sound. They found that the key software being used by the customer for handling their day-to-day transaction is susceptible to an external attack. WBS Bank's management thought about what they could do to make their software robust and secure. The management thought of two possible solutions to this problem. One, they could try to fix and enhance the security of their existing software itself. Secondly, the existing software has been in use for some time. They could get a new software which is robust and securely built for the bank. All the members of the management and board voted unanimously for building a new software for the bank. WBS Bank approaches Zilling Software Incorporated to build a new software which is robust, secured, and can take load of transactions happening on it. Also, WBS Bank wants Zilling to start building a small part of the software which handles the main transaction handling part first. Then they could continue building the rest of the software as per the client's requirement. Zilling know that the bank cannot afford to lose time and risk its customers' money. So they want the software developed with high quality in less time. Also, WBS Bank is not very sure about all the requirements at the start itself. They do foresee a few iterations to get the features out of the new software that I want. So Zilling decides to adopt Agile management methodology to develop the software for WBS Bank. Zilling decides to put together a team of self-driven and highly efficient team who will handle the development process with high quality results. As is common in any Agile project, Zilling divides the entire project into sprints or manageable chunks of the software that will be developed by the team. Each sprint that is developed is sent to the client as and when developed to gather feedback and bring it close to expectations. By ensuring WBS Bank involvement throughout the Agile project, Zilling is able to successfully deliver the project in record time. Okay. So we see how important or how Agile project methodology was able to help Zilling deliver their software to WBS Bank. Now, before I go to the role of leaders in Agile project management, something just occurred to me, and I'm going to take about 5 minutes to talk about it before I proceed. And what just occurred to me is on our personal finance, we could actually use Agile approaches to drive our personal finance, improve our personal finance. So what does Agile project has to do with personal finance? Agile projects say you could do smaller things at smaller times or shorter time that will give you smaller revenue, that at the end of the day, you get to have bigger revenue from smaller revenue. So it's simple, right? So what are the smaller things you can do at shorter times that will give you smaller revenue, that when joined together, it will give you bigger revenue? So let me take, for instance, most of us here have been trained, and by the end of the day, you'll be certified. So instead of using your certificate for working as an employee, why not use your certificate? And for those of us that are going for charter, why not use your charter to consult for other companies? Why not use your certificate to join training organizations? So you train and you get paid maybe 50,000 naira per month. You train for 4 organizations that pay you 50,000 naira per month. That would be 200,000. Then you consult for smaller organizations that pay you probably 50,000 too per month. Maybe you have 2 of them, that's 100,000. And then you have your salary that you collect 200,000 per month. You would have increased your work or increased your revenue to 500,000 by doing smaller things that doesn't really seem as though they would have given you money. Some of us have become good, and we are good with public speech. We are good with motivational speech and all of that. Some of us have learned emotional intelligence. So what if you decide to be delivering short podcasts to companies, and maybe they decide to pay you 50,000 naira every month just to be training their staff through your short podcast? And then you have maybe 5 companies you're able to buy into that. They give you 50,000 for you to develop a podcast, but that podcast can be used to train hundreds of staff. So that you do that, 5 companies will give you 250,000. And then instead of using your charter and keeping it at home, what if you get someone who is interested in starting up a company, and you come into the person's company as a board member, and then they pay you maybe 20,000 naira for a start per month, okay? And you do that for like 5 companies, that will be 100,000 in a month. So you're not working, but they are using your chartered certification to show that yes, they have value to what they are doing. Okay, so there are quite a number of strategic approaches or agile approaches to increase our revenue without having to bother about or depending on salaries only. Now, another thing you could actually ask yourself is, are there other smaller things you could do that are legal, that doesn't have to stress you, and you could get more money from it? And the answer is yes. And I could use example of things like cryptocurrency. Yes, you could make some small money using cryptos, right? Yes, you may have to invest a little more, but let's assume you invested, assumedly, you invested $1,000. You invested $1,000, and the $1,000 gives you $100 every month. Okay, it gives you $100 every month. That is like 46,700 every month. Okay, you're not working for it, you just invested it, and any day you still want your $1,000 back, you get your $1,000 back. Okay, then you talk about networking businesses. I know not all of us are good with networking businesses, but there are quite some networking businesses that you do that get you some few pennies. You don't need to stress yourself, but they get you some few pennies. All right. So if you try these agile approaches and keep doing them with your leisure time, you might be surprised that you would have ended up increasing your revenue by over 100% in a short time. And by doing somewhat more, you increase your revenue in a higher percentage. All right. So agile approaches is not only to business or services, you can apply it anywhere. And let me be very frank with you. As a human being created by God, you should by all means deliver yourself from single source revenue approach. By all means, through prayer and supplication, with your request being made known to God, please try as much as you can to deliver yourself from single source income approach. It could be devastating when that stream is blocked. Okay, it could be devastating. Most of the people that you see that are not adversely affected by the economy, they don't have single digit, even or single source revenue. Even the supposed middle class people, some of them you still see them live comfortably, irrespective of crisis or irrespective of economic downtime. They still have other sources. So please, as you're taking this class, you need to start writing down at least 3 to start with. 3 to start with. What can you invest your 100,000 naira in that will give you maybe 5,000 in a month? why your 100,000 remains stable. So as you keep increasing it, your interest over it keep increasing. What can you start with your 200,000 that will give you 20,000 in a month? Your capital remains intact, but your interest keep accruing. If you do 20,000 in a month with 200 in a year, you have 240,000. That will be 440,000. If you do that in 10 years, you know how much it's going to be. Okay. Now I'm going to actually give you an assignment. And the assignment is that you're going to use Agile approach to work out how you're going to become a billionaire within the next 10 to 20 years. In case that's too short, you can, or too long, you can bring it down. But make sure your approaches are realistic. And the approaches are these small things I'm talking about. Now, let's say you invest 200,000 this year. It gives you 20,000 a month. You have 240,000. So by the end of the year, you have 440,000. And the next year, which is year 2, you are now getting 44,000, 10%. You're getting 44,000. And you do that in 10 months, you have 4.4 million, right? So the next year, you have maybe 400,000 as your interest. And that will give you about 40 million at the end of the day. So you have 4 million as your interest. Then you keep doing that, you have 400 million, and you keep doing that. You'll be so shocked by the time you get to 15 years, that thing that looked insignificant would have made you a billionaire. That's an Agile approach. That's an Agile approach. Please, if what I'm saying right now makes sense to anybody and you're going to apply it, please, can you type yes in the chat room? If it ever makes sense to you, because I'm going forward with my class. If it ever makes sense to you, please type yes in the chat room. Okay, so if it makes sense to you, please go and do it. Some of us have up to $1 million in the bank. And every month the bank gives you, now that they've reduced the interest rate, before they would have given you 1,000 plus, but now they give you almost 500 naira. That 1 million naira, why are you keeping it there? Some of us have 500,000. Say you're saving. What are you saving it for? Find veritable investment that your money will be secured and you still have interest on your money. That's very, very important. And I think, please, I am not saying that this is the surest way, but I'm just giving you an example. I think in this era, cryptocurrency is one of those areas that you can invest your money, your capital is sure, then your interest is sure also. I do that, and that's why I'm talking about that, okay? Okay, so you have $2,000, you have $5,000 that you keep in the bank. What are you keeping it for? Okay, if you keep your $5,000 in a crypto account and you get possibly $500 per month, in 10 months you get back your $5,000, then every other thing becomes your benefit, all right? Becomes your benefit, and you can any day, anytime. I am not the owner of cryptocurrency, but I'm just sharing it because I feel it could be one of the Agile approaches to make some money, all right? And especially to those my friends that are not married yet, that 50,000 naira that you have, that 100,000 naira that you have, that you're eating from every day, please go and invest it. For the sake of your children, go and invest it. Okay, go and invest it. For the sake of your children, not for the sake of you getting married. Okay, go and invest it. All right? Go and invest it. Go and invest it. It will help you. And somebody here, as I'm talking to this class now, somebody in this class has about 2 million naira. And you're staying in a place like Lagos. and you're asking what can you do with your 2 million, let me tell you what you can do. I'm just going to give you an example. If you go and get, there is a car they call Sharon or Sienna. If you get a Sharon, they say Sharon is better because it conserves fuel. If you get Sharon, maybe you're in Lagos, you get Sharon that commutes between Lagos and Ibadan. And I think Lagos and Ibadan is about, is it 1,300 or so? In about 6 months, you'll get your 1.5 or 1.4 million back. And then the remaining months, in 5 years, that car would have ended up helping you establish a well-known transport company. But it started with 1.5 or 1.8 million that you comfortably kept in your account now. And if they ask you, say you want to buy land, you don't want to buy, use it, you don't. Bank keep charging you every day. Okay, that does not make sense. Right? Am I saying that keeping your money in the bank is wrong? It is not wrong, but there could be better ways. There could be other agile approaches to increase our value. All right. There are other agile approaches to increase our value. Am I saying now that you should just launch out and anywhere you see opportunity, to go and put your money? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying opportunities that the risks are very low, they are bound. Opportunities that the risks are very low, they are bound. If you buy a car 1.8 million and you do insurance with 200,000 and anything happens to the car, you get your 1.8 million back. Nothing will happen to your car. The risk is low. Anything happens to it, you get your money back. All right? So, men and brethren, let's try to apply some agile approaches to our finances. You know, for those of us men, the higher your finance, the better the happiness in your home, whether you believe it or yes. The higher your finance, the more excited your family gets to be. You get to buy, easily take care of your wife, easily get your children to go to the best schools and all of that. Nobody will ever insult you if your finances are high. Instead of every day telling your wife, you know my income, why don't you change the income? I am not saying that women should not be reasonable, but at least you've been earning 100,000 for the past 5 years, and you're still earning 100,000, and you're telling your wife every day, you know my income. That is not too good now. That means you've not been agile in managing your finances. Okay, you've not been agile in managing your finances. All right. So that is it when it comes to agile approach. By this time next year, we want to have a testimony of how you transformed your 50,000 to at least 1 million. At least that will be 12 months afterwards. By this time next year, we should be hearing testimony of how your salary is no longer the major source of your income. Okay. You should increase your finance to the point that you shouldn't always feel bad when people ask you for help. Or you always tell people, you understand, my brother, situations are hard. Situations mustn't be hard at all times. Please change the situation from being hard to being better. And all of the way to change the situations are all in our hands. Okay, you don't need to do 2, 3 extra jobs. All you need to do is do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 reasonable investments. If you have 10 reasonable investments that gives you 10,000 every month, that's 100,000 every month. In a year, you have 1.2 million that you're not touching. Okay, please, let's do something. Okay, and stop shouting on Junior and shouting at Ada, shouting at Tunde, all of them, because they are not understanding your salary. Okay. Okay, somebody said in the chat room, if you have 1 million, invest in my bank and we'll give you 4K per month. DM to get started. Bank is more insured and secured. Okay, so somebody's advertising for their bank. If you're interested, 4K per month, you can go ahead. All right, thank you so much. I trust this little digression will help us. Okay, this little digression will. And Let me say this. Let me say this. Not everybody might like this, but permit me to say this. The most recognized currency in the world is dollars. If you've not started earning in dollars, you could be lagging behind. I'll repeat this again. The most recognized currency in the world trade currency is dollars. So if you've not started earning in dollars, you could be lagging behind. So what does this mean? You must find out agile approaches to start earning in dollars. It's very simple. Go and open a domiciliary account. If you're opening with GT Bank, it's free. They are not charging you anything. Just go and provide the information. Open a domiciliary account. Now ask yourself the question, what can you do to start earning in dollars? That's simple. You'll do that from the comfort of your home. You do that maybe with your phone. You do that maybe with some 1, 2, 3 communication, and you start earning in dollars. And that will give you more buoyancy. That will help you settle some international issues with ease than every day you're converting, you're buying dollar instead of 387 charge, they'll be telling you 467 charges, and that might affect your finances terribly. Okay, so if you've not started earning even if you've not started earning in dollars, just go and open a DOM account. There is something around vision. There is something around goals. You might set a DOM account today. You might not even have the dollar today. You could use your own money to change and put some few dollars in the account. But for the fact that you've made up your mind and you've taken that step to start earning in dollars, you'll be so shocked. One day you will earn $100. Another day you earn $200. Some other days you earn $500. One day you earn $1,000. Another day you earn $2,000, $50,000, $500,000. And by the time you know it, you have other currencies flowing alongside. So it's important. I will repeat this again. If you've not started earning in dollars, please go and start building agile approaches to start earning in dollars. That does not make you proud. That does not make you a person of no sense. No, it only brings you to the point that you also want to be part of the world influencers and part of the world market. That's all. Okay. If your vision support that you transact in dollars and you only have Naira, very soon you'll not have enough Naira to transact in dollars. But if your vision support that you transact in dollars and you have to do your business in dollars and you have dollars, it keeps you on a better pace. Okay. So please, if you don't have DOM account, go to the nearest bank to you, open a DOM account. GT does not charge you anything to open a DOM account. I don't know about others. UBA does not charge you anything to open a DOM account, especially if it is personal. Zenith Bank does not charge you anything to open a DOM account. And those banks are close to us. So why not walk into that place by Monday? Just collect the form, fill it, give it to them. The next money you're going to deposit to your account, change it to dollars, and then deposit it there. Okay, that's simple. Simple. Your journey to owning massive dollars has just begun. All right. If this advice is acceptable, please type yes. If it's not acceptable, just say no, so I will proceed. If this last advice now is acceptable, just type yes. If it's not acceptable, just say no, I'm not interested. Okay. Okay. So this is acceptable, please. By Monday, make it as a target. As you're going to work, just go to the bank, collect DOM account form, open it. Or you can even call your bank and tell them that they should use your existing record to open a DOM account for you. It's that simple. You don't need to go back there. Just call your relationship manager or account officer. Tell them to use your already existing account and open a DOM account for you. All right. Then as you open the DOM account, the question is, how do I start earning in dollars? Don't ever allow your brain to rest until you begin to earn in dollars. Okay. Most of us, virtually everything we do online these days is you virtually pay in dollars. So why won't you have dollars? Virtually everything we do it in, you want to pay for Facebook advert dollars, Google advert dollars, even the Nigerian website you pay in dollars. You want to do your web hosting, Nigeria dollar, everything dollar. You want to pay to international community dollar. So there is nothing wrong in opening a DOM account. As you open it, start thinking how to take your product service agilely to now earning dollar for you. Is it possible? The answer is yes. When you have done that and you need us to help you integrate your product to something that you can start earning dollars, please feel free to contact us. We'll gladly help. Okay, we will gladly help you, right? Thank you for coming. And blessed are those who hear and they do. Those that hear and do, those are the blessings. Those that the blessings will come to. All right, thank you. So let's quickly look at the role of leaders in Agile project management. I think as a leader, I've been able to share with you some Agile views that will help enhance our revenue. We will not only share with you Agile views on how to increase or improve your career. If you notice the career war today, you find out that it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. The career war, they're actually running out of ideas. So it is time for us to take our own careers by our hands. Okay? The career war, they are running out of ideas. Okay? Most organizations, they are hiring people who are business developers. They are hiring people who will come and bring out the idea. And since the business has money, they'll finance the idea. Okay, so that is very, very important. That's very, 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 very important for us to put in mind. Is important for us to put in mind. All right, very, very important. Role of leaders in Agile project management. A major characteristic of effective Agile team is clear expectations set by leaders about the roles played by each team member. Clear expectations, clear expectations. Now, notice what I said. I didn't say just go and open a DOM account because it's reasonable. Okay. I'm not saying go and open a DOM account because it will make you feel good. It's going to add to your portfolio. It will not add anything to your portfolio. I'm saying set a DOM account and then begin to set clear goals and clear strategies on how you're going to start fetching dollars to the DOM account. Okay, start thinking of how to fetch dollars and don't give your brain any rest until you find those approaches. Read as wide as you can read. Attend as several seminars as you can. There are seminars to attend that may not meet up to expectations, but that shouldn't stop you. There are some you meet, they will say things that are not in line with what you've set as goals. That shouldn't stop you. Read as many books as possible. Get mentors in line with where you're going to. And one day, I assure you, I tell you the truth, you will earn your first dollars. Okay? You will earn your first dollars, you will earn your second dollars, you will earn your third dollars. You will keep earning. Okay? And by the time you know it, since you are now open to international trade, you will start earning dollars from any other person, from any other part of the world. In IIPM, like for some of us some people here, during the introduction of this class, some people said they were from United Arab Emirates. Some are from Ghana. Some are from Somalia. Some are from Kenya. Obviously, they are not going to pay in Naira because they may not from the Nigerian banking where they are. So they have to pay in dollars. Okay. Even people from US who attend our programs, they pay in dollars. They don't pay in Naira. Does that make us a very big company? No, it actually made us a small company that uses agile approaches to try to become a big company. And that's what we should actually try doing, all of us. Let us use agile approaches as small companies to gain higher market share. That will give us better advantages. Okay, that will give us better advantages. All right. So there must be clear goals, there must be clear objectives for whatever agile approach you're applying. In such a team, action is taken and clear assignments are made. These roles are delegated by the leader and are duly accepted as well as carried out. Let me ask you a question, simple question. How many of us are consultants here? You're a consultant. You are a consultant. If you're a consultant, please type 1 in the chat room. If you're a consultant, please, can you hear me type 1 in the chat room? I mean a practicing consultant, not a prospective consultant. You're a consultant, please, can you hear me type 1 in the chat room? Okay. So I have 2 persons that are consultants. 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6. All right. Now, to those of us that are consultants, consulting could be one of the most delicate career anyone could choose. One of the best ways to keep at the forefront of your consulting career is to keep on being innovative, is to keep on branding and rebranding yourself every single moment, is to keep continually improving the value that you carry. Whether we believe it or yes, if you're a consultant and at the end of the day you are certified as a lead project manager, it gives you a different perspective from what originally you were known for. Now, let's assume that you now move forward to become a chartered project manager. It gives you a different background entirely. Now, let's assume you move up a little and become a chartered fellow. It gives you another different background entirely. Now, let me land. Some of us that struggle with bidding and negotiation is just a function of our profiles. Just a function of our profiles. Just a function of our profiles. Our profiles does not compel the customer enough to say, okay, yes, this person can do this. Now, if you go back to one of the pillars of Agile project management, the Agile manifesto, it talks about skills enhancement, skills enhancement. Whether you believe it or not, whether your company accepts it or yes, the day your name change or get something added to it, certified associate project manager, certified lead project manager, whether you believe it or yes, there is a different look you have, a different look you have. Somebody was sharing a testimony the other time. She was among the people that did project management in the last diet. And this woman said, she's a medical doctor. She said she had been trying to get an appointment from their state government. And every time she submits her CV, the governor will always tell her that she doesn't have the management experience. Now, the last time she shared her story, she said that she finished her certification course. She did the executive leadership development with us, emotional intelligence, HAC, and project management. She did all of these courses. She had done all of this year. No, she's currently doing HAC now. Yes, she's currently doing HAC now. But she has done ELD, EI, and project management. Now, she said something. She called us and she was telling us. She said that as soon as she updated her CV and sent it to the governor called her and took her CV, well documented it, and as of then, that was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, or about a month plus ago, that her appointment was going to be shortlisted very soon. And she said the man specifically said to her that now that you have leadership experience and you have project management experience, I think you're qualified. Now that you have leadership and you have project, now just the certificate, they've not even spoken about how the work will be done, but the name has changed. There had been another brand added to her name, and that changed her career. So I'm going to tell you, whether you believe it or yes, like some of us that keep asking the question, how recognized is the certificate, how this, no, it's not about that. As soon as this, I'm talking specifically to consultants now. Because I've noticed something about some consultants. They just want to come and they just want to go and learn where it is free and then go. Please, as a consultant, anybody teaching you free things is not helping you. You must be able to get those accolades to your brand as a name, as a company. And I'm not joking. As you could know how to do project and all of that, but you could be missing contract on daily basis. Why? They say he doesn't have the necessary skills or necessary certification. But someone who has the certification doesn't have the skill will get the contract. Why? Just brand. There had been an addition, a supplemented addition to the brand. Whether you believe it or yes, psychological marketing till date still works like wildfire. Whether you believe it or yes, psychological marketing still works like wildfire. Whether you believe it or yes, all those small things you add in your name, maybe, what is the person's name now? Let me find somebody's name. Okay, Trustly Nakalezi. Then you now put LPMP, CPMP, CEIP, GHRP. Whether you believe it or yes, those things, you might not know how valuable they are, but the person that is reading those profiles know how valuable they are. And like joke, promotion, they said the most qualified. Negotiation, they said most qualified. So if you're a consultant in this class, please don't take your consulting career as a joke. Stop, reduce those stress of everyday marketing. Every day you're trying to convince people. You can convince people with your profile. Simple and short. I'm done. I'll finish speaking my own. Okay. All right. And recently I saw something and I laughed. They were reading the profile of the director of, is it National Sports Council or so. Now this person has nothing to do with management, but he got that appointment because he was a chartered management consultant. That sounds funny. He got that appointment above all others that could have been more qualified technically, but he got that appointment because he was a chartered management consultant, and nobody was asking him where he got it from. Oh, he's a chartered management consultant. Oh, so he should be a very good administrator. Okay, let's give him the opportunity. As time progresses, we'll find out that appointments are not necessarily based on qualifications, academic qualifications, but they will be based on professional qualifications and professional affiliations. Professional qualifications and professional affiliations. I am taking time to give all these hints because we need to understand how to start packaging our profile and branding our profiles to suit the careers and to suit the opportunities we are looking out for. That's very, very important. That's very, very important. Roles of leaders in Agile project management. Leaders have to ensure that work needs to be distributed fairly among team members as per each person's skills and capability. The leader should clarify each work area and smoothing out the way for each of the team members. This way, it will be easier for the team to achieve its objective by making use of allocated time. The leader needs to have ability to give clear assignment in each work area, such as work methods, time frames, work responsibility, customer supplier interface, work priorities, performance expectations, and resources. For work methods, each team member needs to understand the leader's expectation regarding required work methods as well as procedures. This is with regards to each job of the Agile project. For time frames, it is vital to understand the due dates for the completion of Agile project. Determine when the dates have slipped and which completion dates are final and non-negotiable. This is because each task is connected to another in an Agile team. A delay in one task leads to a delay in the complete project. This way, no organization will be able to meet its deadlines, leading to huge losses for the company. Work responsibilities. Each team member's role is to be clearly understood when they are assigned to a given job or responsibility. This is very important, else too much time will be spent due to wrong communications reaching team members. Client interface. Understand the leader's expectations while dealing with client problems. Similarly, the client complaints or requests needs to be handled by each team member as per the organization's policies. After all, effective relationships have to be built with other work groups in order to reach the full potential of the organization or of the team. Work priorities, each person as well as each team will be loaded with a huge amount of work. It is important for each team member to understand which jobs take priority at that particular moment. Perform expectations or performance expectations. Understand what the leader expects in the way of desired outcomes. At this point in time, open communication is vital. Understand what it means to do a good job as per the leader's expectations. Then list the degree of effort that is expected to be put into a task. It is important to avoid overworking on low priority tasks, as that will not help in realizing the Agile project objectives. Resources. Each Agile team members or each Agile team always have or has limited resources. The aim is to achieve the maximum with minimum resources. Understand what resources have been allocated to perform a project task. These resources may include things such as time, support staff, equipment, software, as well as budget. Also understand how much control the team has over resource decisions. Now, before we go on to explaining the tips for managing diversity in an Agile team, do I have any question? Is there any comment, any comment from anywhere? Please, do I have any comment? Do I have any question before I proceed? Could there be any question for me? Okay, if there are no questions for me, can we take 2 minutes break and we'll be back? 2 minutes break and we'll be back. Just 2 minutes break and we'll be back. Thank you. All right, thank you so much and welcome back to class. All right, let me be sure that everyone is hearing me. Please, if you can hear me loud and clear, please type 1 in the chat room. If you can hear me loud and clear, please type 1 in the chat room. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so we can proceed. Tips for managing diversity in an agile team. The following are a few tips for managing diversity in an agile team. Identify the importance of contributions. Okay, please, just a moment. My screen went blank. Okay, identify the importance of contributions and the people who contribute. Identify the importance of contributions and the people who contribute. Number 2, promote open and honest discussion of opinions. Number 3, accept people with different ideas and approaches. Support out of the box thinking. So these are some of the ways we can manage diversity in the workplace. Number 1, support out of the box thinking. Number 2, accept people with different ideas and approaches. Number 3, promote open and honest discussion of opinions. And then next, identify the importance of contributions and people who contribute. All right. Okay, quickly, let's look at importance of leadership in agile project management. Importance of leadership in agile project management. Leaders as enablers, we are going to look as leaders enablers, sharing a common vision, skills in challenging the existing systems and processes, encouraging qualities of teamwork, and modeling high quality behavior. So let's start. The first one is leaders as enablers. I know we might not all have all the resources to keep going for training, what do you call it now, getting certifications upon certifications. Yes, we appreciate that. But in IPM, we most often make room for free trainings, especially for all our members. Okay, so put up your mind. I know some of us here have already done executive leadership development. Put up your mind and start thinking that, okay, in the next one, I'm going to do executive leadership development. Whether I have the money or I don't have the money, but at least let me improve my leadership skills. Then also put up your mind, I'm going to do emotional intelligence. Whether I have the money or I don't have the money, I could get the certificate whenever needed, but I must first of all improve myself. So in this case, personal improvement over the challenge of money, that could be one of the agile approaches to personal development. If you've gotten the major certifications, then ensure to have access to some other trainings that will enhance you. And one of those trainings is leadership development. Agile leaders as enablers play a crucial role in creating a culture of collaboration, empower teams to drive optimum performance by encouraging employee involvement in decision-making and in developing high performance agile teams. Sharing common vision. Agile leaders should be experts in articulating the agile vision, mobilizing the required support and the involvement of their teams for the achievement of the ultimate agile project vision. They also, or they should, be able to assess the opportunities and visualize the possibilities, communicate the same with others and gather their support, and be able to align the individual goals with organizational vision. Skills in challenging the existing systems and processes. Successful agile leaders must have an extraordinary ability to anticipate the change, analyze the developments or changes in the agile project environment, capitalize the opportunities by taking proactive initiatives, and be skilled in experimenting or taking risks. So continuous development to enhance your skills is crucial. Encouraging qualities of teamwork. Agile team leaders motivate team for achieving excellence in performance by appreciating and recognizing their contributions, sharing the success stories and achievements with the team members, and celebrating the achievement of the common goals. Modeling high quality behavior. Agile leaders do have an extraordinary ability in personifying and representing the Agile values before everyone and get the support of others in modeling the common values. They should be able to cite out success stories or leave examples of how others have achieved success by endorsing the Agile values and following it in their Agile projects to drive high quality. Now, let's look at the Scrum methodology in Agile project management. Scrum methodology in Agile project management. So in Agile project management, we have different Agile methodologies. We have Scrum, we have Kanban, we have Scrum Ban, we have Lean Development, we have SP, TDD, FDD, and DSDM. We're going to look at each and every one of them and find the uniqueness that exists, and then how we can apply each of them in our own development approach. So the first one we're going to look at is Scrum. Scrum utilizes progressive and repetitive development model with shorter length of cycles. Scrum is easy to execute and focuses on regular and faster deliveries. The Scrum framework has 3 roles: a Scrum Master, a Product Owner, and Scrum Team. I would like to explain this a little so that we understand it. We have different softwares that you can use to collaborate these 3 things. Scrum softwares, Agile softwares. You can have Jira and others, okay, that you can use. But it's important we understand how the methodology works so that with or without the software, we can be able to apply the principle or apply the methodology. So Scrum is saying that for it to actually work, the major stakeholders involved are the Scrum Master, who in this case is the project manager, then the product owner, who in this case could be the sponsor, the client, the customer, or any other person, okay? And then the Scrum team, which in this case is the project team. So these 3, if you look at it, will comprise or will carefully utilize the 4 foundational values of Agile. 1, in people interaction, individuals and interactions. Then you have collaboration, customer collaboration, in this case, product owner collaboration. Then you have working prototype. And then you have the last one on what was the last one? Is it customer involvement? Something like that. Okay. So if you check this carefully, you can easily make your projects faster with shorter cycles, provided these 3 persons are involved. Okay, provided these 3 persons are involved. It's like somebody's trying to remind me of the 4th one. Yes, responding to change. Thank you so much, Trustly. Okay, so I have individuals and interactions. We have customer collaboration. We have working prototype. Then we have responding to change. All right. So it's easy. It's easy to have those 4 principles work effectively by the time these 3 people are in place. Okay, so the Scrum approach involves these 3 people. Okay, the essence is that it makes communication faster, it makes iterations faster, it makes deliveries faster, and all of that. Okay. Scrum depends on the 3 principal artifacts used to deal with the prerequisite and track advance. So I have product backlog, they'll have sprint backlog, they'll have those sprint burn down charts. The product backlog, the sprint backlog, and the sprint burn down chart. Please, at this point, I would like to be making some recommendations. For those of us that are doing the senior project management or lead project management. You have the Project Management Book of Knowledge, 6th edition. Please, I will refer us back to Project Management 6th edition. There is a compilation for Agile project management in that particular release. So please, we need to go back and read more about the Agile project management, and especially we need to read more on the applications, the input tools and techniques required in things like all of these methodologies, the Scrum, Kanban, TDD, SP, DSDM, and all of that. We need to go back and find out all of those things, read extensively on those areas, and it will help us. The 4 main features Scrum uses to bring structure to each sprint are the sprint planning. Please remember I said, yes, sprint is like phase. In traditional project management, a phase, all right? So phase planning or milestone planning. Then you have the daily stand-up or daily Scrum. The daily stand-up is like meeting. In Agile project management, we say we have meetings on the stand. We don't sit to have meetings. We stand. We do meetings on the stand, on a stand. So you're standing and you're doing meeting. The essence is that stand-up meetings does not allow you to relax and get carried away with other things. Stand-up meetings allow you to get smarter and faster with decision making, and then you proceed with the things you need to do. Then you have sprint demo or sprint prototype. Then you have the sprint retrospective. The sprint retrospective is just to go through how the whole phase had gone through, or the whole sprint has gone through. Then you check if there are going to be changes. Okay, you review. So in retrospective, like review, you review the sprint, review the phase, and then find out if there are changes that need to be done. Okay. Then you have the Kanban. Kanban uses just-in-time principle by combining amount of work in progress to the team's availability. Amount of work in progress to the team's availability. So Kanban especially uses what it has at the moment to get what it doesn't have or what it wants to get. It uses resources available to achieve goals. So in Kanban, availability is much important than quality of resources available. I'll repeat that again. The available resource is more important than the unavailable quality resource. I'll repeat that again. In Kanban, the resource, the current resource available to carry on with the current work at hand is more important than the quality resource that we don't have. So in essence, you can use the resource available to work the work in order to have resource to get the quality resource that you expect at the end of the day. In the Igbo clan, there is one adage that they normally say, that you use your water to make your oil. No matter how small your water is, just use that to make equivalent oil that you can use. If you want to sell the oil and buy more water, go ahead. You can sell the oil, buy more water, make another oil, get more, buy more water, sell, and all of that. So Kanban uses the just-in-time principle, all right? Now, let's go back to Scrum so that we can see the difference between these two things. So why Kanban uses just-in-time, the Scrum uses progressive and repetitive development model with shorter length of cycles. So Scrum focuses on faster deliverables. Scrum focuses on regular and faster deliverables. Why Kanban is saying we might not have all of it, but we are using what we have to get what we don't have, perhaps on a regular basis. Scrum is telling you we want to cut down on time. We have the resource, so let's use what we have to cut down on time, cut down on cycles, make it faster. Okay. Okay. Kanban uses visualization of the workflow through a Kanban board, usually represented by sticker or sticky notes and whiteboards or online tools like Trello. So we have a Kanban app, but all of us somehow use Kanban approaches. Some of us have those diaries that have different colors for different months, different days, and each of the colors means different things. Okay, so if you want to do critical tasks, you put it where the colors are red. If you want to do tasks that are not, or if you want to outline days that are critical to you, you use the red colors to outline them, and then other colors can come in for other things. So those are examples of Kanban that we do virtually every day. Even on our timetable worksheet, we have Kanban also there. We have Kanban also there. Okay, so just like Malik is trying to say, a bird at hand is worth more than two in the bush, and that's Kanban for you. Okay, that's Kanban for you. You know, one thing in project management is that we don't know how to give excuse. We don't know how to give excuse in project management. I've said that over and over again. And if you are going to be a consultant, having gone through project management, you cannot wake up and say you don't know why you didn't get that contract. You don't know why they gave it to another person. You cannot give excuse. You must use any of these approaches. You can start with the Scrum approach while doing or dealing with your negotiations. Let the team members be there. Let the product owner be there. Let the awardee, is it awarder now or awardee? One of them. In fact, let the awarder and the awardee, let them be there. If possible, the focus group, let them be there. You do your negotiation, carry them along. Okay, and by the time you know it, they say this person that is carrying us along, it's better we use the person. Then as you proceed in the project, you find out that there are areas you need to use Kanban, a bird at hand, worth more than two in the bush. You use that also. You cannot give excuse. In fact, if you've ever given excuse why you did not win your project, you should forgive yourself and then improve on those excuses so that next time you won't give an excuse. Because some of us give so funny excuses that I don't even know where we get it from. You hear excuses that, is it not because the person that got the contract know the company owner? Who told you that that's the reason why they gave you contract? Some of us will say, is it not because this one went through the back and now greased their hand? Who told you? When you got the contract, you did not grease anybody's hand. Now another person got it. You are saying that the person greased somebody's hand. It doesn't work that way. All we need to do is find out why we are not making the best of the advantages or the best of the opportunities present to us, and then find out the best agile approach. Okay, find out the best agile approach. Just listen to me. Listen to me. This thing I'm going to say might not be too good to you, but I need to say it anyway. In your life, the most important thing you need to pay attention to is to pay attention to the most important relationship that are formed or that needs to be formed. By all means, invest in such relationships. And I'm saying this with respect to those of us that are consultants here. Even though they are not consultants, we learn from it. I cannot, for once, see somebody that I have strategically looked into the future of the person, and the person has an important role to play in my life, and I will take the person as a casualty. I will never. Or take the person as a casual, I just met him. No. For every time you have opportunity to meet someone who will have opportunity to meet with your future someday, please create a relationship impression such that when the person sees you at the end of the day, he doesn't feel like, this man that came and went, we don't know him. He's not a trustworthy person. And I'm going to shock you now. This thing I'm going to say will shock you. I've said it severally. Some people agree with me. Some people did not agree with me. Listen to me. You see, when you have opportunity to network with people, please invest in that opportunity. Let's take, for instance, you just met someone who might not be as rich as you might expect, but has the network to give you contracts. What do? Start investing in that relationship. Today, you might buy the person wine. Next tomorrow, you might take the person out. Another time, you pay for the person's food. Another time, you send the person airtime. What are you doing? This is part of psychological marketing. But you must be open enough to also create value in the relationship, not just to extort the person. Now, something will happen. Someday, there will be need for the person to make recommendation, and the person will only have one option. One day, there will be need for the person to make a a referral, and the person will have only one option. One day, there will be need to say, we need somebody with trust, and the person will only have one option. So relationships are very, very important. Now, why did I come to this? If you must introduce agile approaches to your business, then relationship marketing must be one of your core principles, one of your core principles in managing customers and in getting your business done. We can actually gain quite far enough with relationship than trying to get it on our own self. All this whole struggle of this, and all these people that are stingy with themselves, I don't know what is, I don't know. Some people are just naturally stingy. They are just stingy. If you're stingy, receive grace to come out of stinginess. If you're stingy, it takes 1, 2, 3 conversation to know whether someone is stingy. It takes 1, 2, 3 conversations to know whether someone is stingy. If you are stingy to yourself, it will be difficult to have profitable relationships. If you are stingy to yourself, stingy to invest in your relationship, it will be difficult. Some of us, after this class, you need to go and buy wine and give to your HR in your office. You need to go and, in fact, you just need to go and cook food and tell your staff and say, today, I am buying food for everybody. You might not know what you're doing. Some of us need to go and start buying banana and granola to the office. You might think, others don't buy. Why should I buy? Forget about it. You are creating some relationship. You don't know, they say the root, the gift of a man makes way for him. Whether it's making way now or not, it will make way somehow, sometimes to come. Let's use our relationship in Kanban approaches. Let's apply Kanban in our relationship management. As we visualize the possibilities in the relationship, let's use what we have. I'm not saying go and borrow, go and do what is not called for. I'm not saying go and show off. No, a little investment, 200 naira groundnuts, 200 naira banana, 1,000 naira, it won't cost much from your wallet. 500 naira airtime, 100 naira airtime, it won't do you so much. But what are you doing? You are investing. For whatever seed a man sow, he will not reap just the same way. He will reap greater measures from that little seed, those little seeds. So please, let's use Kanban approach in managing those in relationship now, in managing this group of people in the Scrum. You see them? You see these people? You use Kanban to manage these people in relationship wise. Okay, thank you so much for coming. I think I can go on now. All right, so we have the Scrum Band. Scrum Band is a means of Scrum and Kanban to utilize features from both models. So I think I just gave an example. Now you could use the Kanban to manage those in the Scrum. Okay, just simple approaches. Provides the Scrum Band provides flexibility and visualization of Kanban and structure of Scrum. What's the structure of Scrum? The structure of Scrum is there's a Scrum Master, there is a product owner, and there is Scrum team. Is that not? That's the framework. So what does the Kanban has to do here now? With the Kanban, we can now say, okay, Scrum, the Scrum team, with the availability of people we have in the Scrum team, we can now go ahead and set goals, measurable goals that the team, according to the capacity they have per time, can meet up with those things. Okay, we don't have to kill our head because we don't have the most intelligent expert in our midst. We use what we have to get what we don't have. As we visualize it via Kanban, we use Chrome, integrate Kanban in Chrome and Scrum, and then use it to achieve what we want. Okay, all right. Now I have the lean development. Lean development is a progressive and repetitive methodology. The term value is characterized as any activity or process that a client would pay for. The 7 basic principles of lean development is knowledge creation, postponed commitment, waste reduction, optimization, fast delivery, respect people, and quality. So if you want to apply the lean development approach, agile methodology to your business, then you must always be a function of, or you must be a product of knowledge creation. So enhancing your skills, enhancing the skills of your team members, improving their knowledge, improving your knowledge and improving their knowledge, that will help in new product development, new market launching or access to market, and all of that will be very, very key. Then postponing commitments that might not really be beneficial at the moment, you postpone them. Then try as much as you can to reduce waste, and then optimize all resources available. Ensure to deliver product as fast as you can, and then respect people, both your team members and non-team members, and then make sure you have a laser focus on quality. Now, before we go to the next one, let me go back and be sure that we understand these things we are talking about. Do I have any question on Kanban, on Scrum, on lean development? Scrum Ban, do you have any question? I know some people might be thinking, oh, we should be using a software for this training. Yes, but let's understand the method so that with or without software, we can actually do what we need to do. Okay, Scrum, done with shorter times, shorter cycles, faster deliverables, faster products. That's Scrum. And we need the product owner, we need the Scrum master, and we need the Scrum team to decide. Then for Kanban, we need to use what we have to get what we don't have. We don't need the software to do that. We need our brain to do that. And we need to visualize what we want to achieve before we start turning our resources to achieving that. In Scrum Ban, integration of Scrum and Kanban. Okay. Then the lean development is, we definitely know that all agile methodologies are repetitive and progressive and iterative in nature. But for lean development, then we'll pay attention to knowledge management or knowledge creation. We pay attention to waste reduction. We pay attention to postponing commitments that are not really necessary. Then we pay attention to faster deliveries. We pay attention to quality. We pay attention to respecting people. Okay, that's very, very important. Now, before I proceed, could there be any question for me, the son of man? We are gradually coming to the end of today's class. We are gradually coming to the end of today's class. Or perhaps we are gradually coming to this to the end of the fourth session, rather. All right, so if there are no questions, I will just proceed. So let's look at extreme programming methodology as one of the agile management methodologies. The extreme programming, or what we call the SP. SP is a lightweight, proficient, low risk, adaptable, predictable, and scientific way to develop software. Now, I'm going to make a little digression, and I'm going to tell you an example of SP in the things I earlier mentioned. When you use what they call it, when you use cryptocurrency, or when you trade on cryptocurrency, it's actually an SP kind of revenue generating model. It's a low risk, is a lightweight, is proficient, is adaptable, and is predictable, and is scientific. Okay, is predictable, is adaptable, is scientific. So you can actually use things like what they call it. You can use things like SP in things like blockchain. Okay, you can use things like, I watched cryptocurrency, I watched blockchain, or perhaps BTC. I've been saying this in most of my training. Most people don't understand. I watched BTC from 2010, 2009. People started telling me about BTC. I didn't know what was that. 2009, what was BTC? It wasn't a rampant information. But BTC moved from $0.03 per dollar, one BTC for $0.03 to currently we are almost moving at $14,000. $14,000. Now check someone that invested $0.03 in 2009, compare it to what the person has now. Just imagine what the difference could be. Now, why could that be? With the trend of events, the crypto environment has proven to be a lightweight, the risk is low, it has proven to be proficient, it has proven to be predictable, adaptable, it has proven to be scientific. You can actually forecast BTC. Now, why I've paid keen attention to BTC, there are other cryptocurrencies, one or two that I buy, but those ones are not they are not the ones I pay much attention to, because those ones are like maybe less than $1, right? But we have a very good forecast on them that they will over time shoot up. Now, for things like BTC or Ethereum, you could actually predict. During the COVID, we were stagnating with $8,000 per BTC. Then we moved to $9,000. Then we moved to $10,000. Then we moved to 11,000. We moved to 12,000. Last week it hit 14. Yes, last week it hit 13,000, and now I have almost $13,600 per BTC. And there is a projection that by 2025, BTC would have reached over $300,000. Now, imagine what that would do to your finance if you started investing now, or if you started trading on BTC now. It's a lightweight. The program is already done. You're not the one determining what goes up or what goes down. But one thing that my crypto advisor told me then, he says, sir, no matter what happens in the crypto environment, you cannot lose. Yes, it may go down in the morning, but check it out in the evening, it's up. It may go down today, but check it out, next tomorrow is up. And when it's coming up like twice of what you expected. And then you can sell off, have your profit, and continue. That's like a lightweight. When risks become predictable, when risks become so adaptable, when risk become, you're just conversant and confident with risk, it gives you some kind of sense of belonging. All right? Does that make sense to somebody? Okay, so can you have a system in your organization that is lightweight, that is proficient, that is low risk, that can easily predict what will happen, and can follow a scientific approach to making decisions to your organization and making innovations to your organization? It's just for us to find out what it is. Okay, and when we find it, let's keep on to it and then keep improving on it. Favors recurring releases in short development circles. Now, this is also something I want to say. For those of us that may want to go into cryptocurrency, as I'm saying it now, it's sounding very sweet to your ear. Now, when I started crypto for the first time, I lost about $200+. Yes, I didn't understand it well then, so I used to think that it will keep on increasing, it will not come down, it will just keep increasing. So I lost about $200. Okay. So what's the secret to crypto? If you want to sell, then you keep selling out your profits as they accrue. Let's assume you invested $1,000, and by 2 weeks you now have $1,200. You sell off the $200 and keep your $1,000. Now, if your $1,200 is still there and then it returns back to $1,000, friends, you have lost that $200. So, though you could say you did not lose anything, but obviously you didn't trade well. If you had sold off the $200, maybe by the time it returned to $1,000, you would have had your $200 resting in your DOM account. That is part of the short circles we are talking about. So crypto doesn't trade for a longer time, like you leave it for 1 year, and when you come back, it will be million. No, you could come back in 1 year, it will be still where you started from, because you are not monitoring it. So it demands effective monitoring. It demands shorter time of investment and return. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Shorter time of investment and return. But one thing I've noticed about crypto is that, for instance, you invested $1,000. No matter how it falls, let's say it falls to $950, in about 1 hour, you can see it come back to your $1,000. So it's difficult to really lose your money. Okay, it's difficult to really lose your money. And those are part of the SP programming. Okay, best option for teams that small in numbers and deal with extremely changing requirements, right? So the blockchain is or the crypto environment is extremely changing environment. Okay, like the other week, I saw in this one also I lost some money. I saw $316 added to my account. So I said, let me wait till when it gets to $14,000. By that time, I would have gotten about $500. Then I will sell. Now, I was just looking at it. It moved from 316 to 310 to 300 to 2, whatever. And finally, it came back to 350. I ended up selling at I think I sold 340. Yes, I sold 340. So I lost, sorry, it was 363 rather. So I lost $23 just by thinking, let me wait. It will just hit $500 and I will sell off. Maybe when I sell off, I'll go and buy a laptop. Okay, so all those environments that are highly dynamic, then keen attention need to be followed on them. If you must invest in cryptocurrency, please take your time to do the study. All right. And if you want us to help, one thing with cryptocurrency that you don't pay anybody to start investing. You can only get advice. Okay. You don't, if you want me to help, you don't pay me and I don't pay you. And I don't gain because you're gaining, and I don't lose because you're losing, right? Everybody's on his own. It's not a network business. It's every man on your own. Banking is not a networking business. So in the same way, cryptocurrency is not a networking business. I'm just trying to use crypto environment as an example of the SP programming. All right. Okay, then we also have the test-driven development, the TDD, programming method where developer initially writes an automated test case for a new function. It depends on the reiteration of an extremely brief development cycle. Feature-driven, we have feature-driven development also, feature-driven development, FDD. Feature-driven development comprises of 5 fundamental activities: the building of an overall model, the development, planning, designing of a feature list, and then developing the feature, developing by feature rather. Deliver stable functioning software or deliver stable functioning product or service regularly in timely manner, expandable to large teams due to concept of just enough design initially. Now I have the DSDM, Dynamic Systems Development Method. If you watch people like Facebook or Google, or most of these sites where we'll pay or buy things, they use dynamic systems for currency conversion, dynamic currency conversion systems. Okay. And that helps them to know what range or what rate of value, maybe dollar to naira, dollar to whatever it could be. They don't have the right to fix their own rate, but through the DSDM approach that they have, they can easily call forth a rate from an international domain and then transact on that international domain, and everybody gets to be happy. You get to be happy being the buyer and they get to be happy being the seller. So covers whole life cycle of a project, is vendor dependent, provides guidance for in-budget, on-time delivery, suitable for projects of all sizes and business segments. Now, look at some of the things he said there. Is vendor dependent, provides guidance for in-budget. So you can actually stumble on it, and by the virtue of the fact that you know that you can trade comfortably and not being cheated, you just go by it. All right, that's simple. Then on-time delivery too. If you're paying for anything online, some of them you get them immediately. All right, or you're using a website where DSDM is applicable, you get your service or product almost immediately. Okay, or even if you don't get it immediately, you get your order receipt immediately. All right. Suitable for projects of all sizes and any business segment. The 8 principles of DSDM is on-time delivery, control, quality, iterative development, focus on business need, continuous communication, collaboration, and building incrementally. On-time delivery, control, quality, iterative development, focus on business need, continuous communication, collaboration, and building incrementally. Now, do you need a software to do this? Well, the answer is yes, but do you need a software to start on all these things? The answer is no. When McDonald's started quick delivery, they didn't need a software to do that. When they started using the DSDM approach, they didn't need, there was no software that will help them. So let us not keep hanging our minds on the fact that, oh, we need a technology, we need a software. We know software should be after you might have understood how the DSDM approach works effectively in your own organization. Then you can get a software that will replicate that system without much labor. So you should have a system of on-time delivery. You have a system of control. You have a system, and control in this case is that both you and the customer, they have control. There is levels of autonomy for the customer. There is levels of autonomy for the service provider. And those controls mustn't be conflicting. If you want to buy things on Jumia, for instance, Jumia allows you to make your control, place order the things. Jumia cannot send you, or you just come up to Jumia, automatically they say you have been debited for this. It can't happen. There must be a control for you to determine what you want to buy, when you want to buy it, how you want it delivered, how you want to pay, and all of that. That's control. Then from the other side, have control of delivering it, working with the logistics company to ensure that they deliver it according to the demands of the customer. Then you have the iterative development. You don't need a software to have iterative development. Iterative development is continuously improving on your service methods, continuously improving on your product delivery methods, continuously improving on your quality advancement methods. That's just the iterative development or iterative innovations. You don't require software to do that. Then focus on business need. You don't need a software to focus on business need. You don't need a software for continuous communication. You don't need a software to collaborate. As you understand how these things work, then you can sit down with a developer to now design a software for you so that it will meet the needs of your company. Or after you might have understood how the DSDM system could work in your organization, then you could now begin to look out for software that can actually help you make the work simpler. But if you've not understood the system, getting a software, getting the technology to do it will make the whole place boring, and you seem as though you made the wrong investment. All right, and that's why in lean project management or lean agile methodology, we said one of the key things there is knowledge creation. So you must have the knowledge of how this works before you go creating the system of how it works. All right, I trust you understood me on that. Did you know the term Scrum began from Rugby, which describes a team that organizes themselves into a single unit and move across the field as a single whole? You answer this question at your own pace. Now, quickly, let's look at stages of agile project management. Stages of agile project management. Stages of agile project management. We have project feasibility, agile contract, project initiation. Just a moment, please. Agile project initiation, agile estimation, agile planning, agile prioritization, agile risk management, agile iterations, tracking and reporting, agile testing, and then we'll have agile documentation. So let's quickly look at what each of them tries to say. For agile feasibility, project feasibility is the first stage of an agile project. At this stage, the feasibility of the project is assessed from technical, financial resources, and execution point of view. Now, if you must carry out project feasibility, remember, Scrum said that we must have the Scrum Master, we must have the product owner, we must have the Scrum team, right? And if the other stakeholders involved, we must involve them. So we can use the Scrum approach to get our feasibilities done well enough, right? Then you have the Agile contract. Agile contract is the second stage of an Agile project. At this stage, the Agile contract is defined, which is the Agile fixed price, which is a contractual model agreed upon by suppliers and customers of IT projects that develop software using or that develop services or products using Agile methods. The model introduces an initial test phase, after which budget, due date, and the way of steering the scope within the framework is agreed upon. Now, if you still go back to Scrum, you find that Scrum can also be used in drawing Agile contracts. And I've said quite a lot about how Kanban can also be used. While I spoke about relationship management, how you could use Kanban to achieve things like the Agile contracts. Don't go bidding for a contract until you first of all had some level of understanding with the project owner. Okay, very, very important. Then we have the third one, project estimation. Okay, project initiation rather. Project initiation is the third stage of an Agile project. At this stage, the actual kickoff of the project takes place after the initial meetings with the client and the requirements gathering and needs analysis. So if you now want to talk about the gathering of information, or perhaps if you want to talk about the initiation and the estimation approach, as it were, you could go and use the lean development approach. Okay, you could go and do what? Use the lean development approach, where we are dealing with resource optimization, we are dealing with waste reduction, or we are dealing with fast deliveries, we are dealing with efficient deliveries and all of that. So you could go there and find out through estimation, find out through initiation what will be needed to get all those principles in place. I hope we're all together in this. I don't want us to have all of this as part of knowledge. I want us to see all the synergies that exist among them so that it can be easy for us to apply, right? Does that make sense? Thank you. So project initiation is the third stage of an Agile project. At this stage, the actual kickoff for the project takes place after the initial meetings with the client and the requirement gathering and needs analysis. So you could actually do Scrum, apply the Scrum band, or you could use Scrum band and lean development. You use Scrum to get all the client's needs and all of the client's expectations and all of that. Then you use Kanban to visualize all that needs to be done, and then try to synchronize all that needs to be done relative to the team members available and the capacity of the team members available. Then you could then begin to create synergies of project scope as regards to the project requirement from the stakeholder or project owner, and then begin to merge them together. All right, and that will determine how the project will be initiated. And remember, in Kanban, it says use what you have to get what you don't have. So you could initiate with what you have, and then as time proceeds, you will get the things that will be required, and then you can proceed with the project. Then Agile estimation is the fourth stage of an Agile project. At this stage, the evaluation of the number of resources, as well as their skills required to complete the project's cost, time estimation, etc. So I spoke about the lean development approach, right? So we could actually use the lean development approach here also. We will use the lean development approach to raise budget, to make sure that we are on point. Okay. And if you want to do extreme programming, you can also do extreme programming in a case like Agile estimation, where you're definite that, okay, you can predict what will happen to costs, you can predict what will happen to budget, to resources, to activities and the likes. You can have such low risk, lightweight, proficient systems that will help you in that. Okay. Then you have the Agile planning. The Agile planning is the fifth stage of the Agile project. At this stage, the actual project plan is drawn up with defined timelines and complete project is divided into smaller chunks or sprints. So if we're dividing them into smaller chunks or sprints, then we can go back to using things like Scrum, or let's say Scrumban. Okay, because Scrumban is an integration of both Scrum and Kanban, right? So we can use Scrumban for effective planning. With Scrumban, we can actually visualize the deliverables, right? The sprints that we're expecting. With the Scrumban, we can actually have a major document on what the customer or what the product owner needs, right? And then with the Scrumban also, with the resource available, we can actually know where to start from, all right? So we can use Scrumban in Agile planning, all right? We can also use lean development in Agile planning, all right? Okay, now I have the Agile prioritization. Agile prioritization is the C stage of an Agile project. At this stage, the sprints that have to be prioritized over the others have to be defined so that the Agile project can be delivered on time. Now, I want to ask, which methodology can we use for Agile prioritization? All of the methodologies we listed: Scrum, Kanban, Scrumban, lean development, test-driven development, feature-driven development, DSDM, dynamic systems, whatever. Which one would be the best methodology to use in Agile prioritization? I'm waiting. Men and brethren, I'm waiting. Please, your answer in the chat room. Let me be sure that we are following. Which of the Agile methodologies can we use for Agile prioritization? Okay, somebody said Kanban. Okay. Somebody said lean development. That's great. Please, we need more answers. We need more answers. We need more answers. We need more answers. Please, more answers, more answers, more answers. You know, in Agile project management, we don't have time. Oh. Time is not on our side. We are on the side of time. So please give me your answers agilely. Please, we need Agile answers. Someone say Kanban, Scrumban, lean. Okay, lean development, Kanban. Okay, so I know we're still going to have much more contributions, but if I'm the one to choose, I will use DSDM. I will use DSDM. Okay, I will use DSDM because DSDM allows control. It allows for autonomy, right? So I would prefer to use DSDM while prioritizing Agile projects. Okay, if I'm using DSDM, that means the product manager will have their own levels of priority. The Scrum Master will have their own levels of priority. The Scrum team will have their own levels of priority. So with that, we have ease of control and execution. Okay, and that ease of control will now help us know how to prioritize the project. Okay, so for me, I will use the DSDM, all right, because of the control in it. Okay, because of the control in it. All right. Thank you. And the next one, seventh one, is Agile risk management. Agile risk management is the seventh stage of an Agile project. At this stage, the risk associated with the execution of the project and plausible failures and their consequences are assessed, determined, and defined. Also, risk mitigation processes are decided. I want to ask, which approach, which methodology can we use here now? Which methodology can we use? There could be 1, 2, 3 methodologies we can apply. Yes, from risk management, Agile risk management, which methodologies can we apply? Which methodologies can we apply? Which Agile methodologies? Can we use Scrum? Can we use Scrumban? Can we use Kanban? Should we use Lean? Should we use extreme programming? Should we use test-driven? Should we use, which one should be the best approach to use? Please, I'm waiting. So someone said lean. Okay, are we together here? Okay, someone said DSDM, someone said Scrum Ban. Test driven. Thank you. DSDM. Okay. Okay, so if you check what we have here, the only thing we want to do is that we want to maximize the positive risk and mitigate the negative risk, right? So we could actually have more than one method to use. But yes, Scrum could be a wonderful way. Scrum Ban could be a wonderful way. But if you start looking at it, lean development could actually be a great one, because lean has a major feature of optimizing resources and reducing waste. So that could be a very credible tool to use. Then you look at extreme programming also. Extreme programming wants you to keep benefiting irrespective of whatever risk that could happen. So extreme programming is like a risk-proof approach. But the difference between the lean approach and the extreme risk program is that extreme risk programming is very dynamic. So you too must be very dynamic compared to the lean development approach. Okay, so if I were to use, I will use lean, I will use extreme programming, and I will use test driven. Test driven is to find out whether, yes, we should proceed or not. So it will be better for me to have a smaller version of the product which can be rejected or accepted, or to have a high volume of the project that will be rejected. So test driven also help us to reduce risks, as well as feature driven. Feature driven also help us to reduce risk. All right. Okay. I trust we are following this gradually. I want you to understand it too. If you don't understand anyone, please, my name is Banito. Tell me now, I will explain. And I'm not saying you should just understand it because it's part of the exam. I want you to understand it so that when you go back to your workplace, you can ask, okay, we are going to be applying Scrum in our next project. They ask you, what is Scrum? You say, in the next project, before we agree on budget, we have to sit down with the project owner and sit down with all of the project team members and other stakeholders to decide on this so that we can all have a fair decision. They will tell you, okay, that's what I mean. I'm not saying you should just understand it in exam. They say which of this is not a part of Scrum. You now take the one that is not part of. That's not what I'm saying. Or you are now doing a new project and you say we are going to be using DSDM. They say, what is DSDM? You say DSDM is just a way of us giving faster delivery and delivering on time to our customers, and it helps them make payment quicker. So DSDM, quicker payment, quicker delivery, quicker payment, quicker delivery. They ask, how do we do that? They say, that's why we have to sit down and agree on it. Let's find the way to do it. Is it possible? Yes. Is it workable? It has been done before. You're not the first to do it. Can you apply it to your business? Obviously. Can you apply it to your service or product delivery? Obviously. Okay. Or you just go back and say, okay, from next production we are going to be doing, please, production manager, use the lean development approach. And they ask you, what's lean development approach? They say, in this case, before we deliver anything or before we produce anything, let's make sure that any waste coming out will be recovered and will reduce waste drastically. So let's turn our waste to useful resources. How can we do it? Take some time, create the knowledge, go for all the knowledge, and then come back and find out how it works. Your waste turn to become your resource. Can it be done? You're not the first to do it. The answer is yes. After you're done and your company start doing it, will others do it? Yes. So it is not about understanding it for the purpose of passing exam or becoming certified or chartered. That's not the purpose. If that's the purpose, I won't teach. I won't even be here. The purpose is for us to understand it, how it works. Okay, I understand this. I'm going to ask a question. Using IIPM as a case study, what approach do you think IPM adopts? Agile approaches do you think IPM adopts? Let's answer in the chat room. You're doing the case study. You are now our consultant. So which Agile approaches do you think IPM adopts? Or what do you think IPM does that makes it an agile organization and gives it better standard. Please help us. You are the customer or you are the client. What do you think IPM does? We'll have fewer minutes to round up. Please, shall we? You have been with IPM with at least for 2-3 weeks. Okay, so some say Kanban, some say Scrumban and DSDM, some say DSDM. Okay. DSDM. Okay, so thank you. We actually have a blend of so many agile approaches. And I want to ask, feel free to answer. How many of us came to this class because it read free training and you're attending here free training? How many of us came because of that approach? Free training. Just type 1 word in the chat room. Type 1 word in the chat room. The thing that caught your attention was that, okay, this training is free online training. You can do it from the comfort of your home. Okay, type 1 word in the chat room. Okay. So I have a number of people here typing 1 word. That's to say we also use the test-driven and the feature-driven approach. Test-driven, you come and you find out and then you decide whether that's what you want or not. That's test-driven. You have nothing to lose by coming. We have nothing to lose by giving you, right? That's test-driven. Then feature-driven, the certifications and all of that. At the end of the day, you are able to decide, okay, I want just to be certified. I want to be chartered. Those are feature-driven. Okay, feature-driven. Then if you also check, we use extreme programming and we use DSDM and we use lean or lean approach. How do we use DSDM? You easily make payment online and all of that. And we are not the one determining how much you'll be, how your conversion rate will go. No, there is a dynamic system that does that. We cannot fix the rate of dollar to naira. No, we cannot fix the rate of Ghana cedis to dollar. We cannot. Okay, but there is a system that can tell you exactly how much the rate is per time. Okay, so you trust that system. Okay, then the extreme programming. The extreme programming is such that you have while you're doing the test, you have nothing to lose, but you have something to gain. Yes, you have the knowledge to gain. Extreme programming, again, you can drop out, you can learn everything and learn and still decide and say, I'm not going for exam, I'm not going for anything, I've gotten what I want. You did not lose anything. No, you didn't. Okay, we did not lose anything as well. So that's extreme programming. It is low risk, it is proficient, it is predictable, it is just good. In fact, it is too good to be true. Now, if you also check our DSDM system, customers decide when to pay, how much they are to pay. The flexibility is there. They have the control. All right, they have the control. So in your own work environment, go and find out your own approaches. In your own work environment, go and find out your own approaches. In your own work environment, go and find out your own approaches. Don't sit down and say country hard. There is always a way out. Go and find those ways that you can profit your business. So 8, we have agile iterations. Agile iterations is the 8th stage of an agile project. At this stage, the actual development of the sprints are carried out. Also, continuous involvement of the client is ensured as each task is carried out and his feedback is sought and implemented. Also, any changes are implemented so that each chunk of task is completed as per client's requirement by carrying out multiple iterations. So I'm just going to be a little faster, but I'm sure anyone will read, you know which system or which approach or methodology you can use. Then we have tracking and reporting. Tracking and reporting is the ninth stage of the Agile project. At this stage, the tracking of the complete project is carried out, and reports are drawn, and decisions are taken if there is any discrepancy between the original plans and any other shortfalls or delays. Then we have the 10th, which is Agile testing. Agile testing is the 10th stage of the Agile project. At this stage, the actual testing of the software or product or service that is developed is carried out. A small chunk top identity or top, sorry, let me be sure of what it's saying. The actual testing of the software or product or service that is developed is carried out in small chunks top. Identify the exact position or location of a possible bug in the software or product. Okay, now part of the things we do in Agile testing, which we do in IPM, is before you come into IPM, even if you were to come in now, IPM will make sure that they provide you with enough information to make your decision. IPM will give you that room to test whether what you want to or whether what you're coming for is exactly what you want. In fact, in IPM, we highly discourage people to pay before coming to our classes. We discourage that a lot. We allow you come in, test for yourself. If what you see is what you want, then you can go ahead. If what you see is not what you want, then you can go home. Your risk is well taken care of. To be so frank with you, we appreciate those people who come and test the class and they abide by the class than those who pay before coming. Those who pay before coming, we also appreciate them more, but for us to reduce risk, both for the person coming and for us, we tell you, come learn for free. If you're done with the learning and everything and you now feel like, oh, I think this is what I need, you now go ahead. So Agile testing, we have the test-driven approach and the feature-driven approach to help you. So many people have asked this question of, I'm not doing software, so how do I test? How do I just give my product for testing? Find out the way it will work. There is a way it will work. There is a way it will work. Find out the way it will work. Find out the way it will work. Okay, find out the way it will work. No matter what your business is, there could be a TDD and FDD approach to it. Find out the TDD approach to your business. Find out the FDD approach to your business. Should I shock you? One of the things about TDD and FDD is that people naturally, there is no stress when businesses use TDD approach or FDD approach. There is naturally no stress on the customer. So customer just want to try it out. He is not coming, some of the customers won't come with the mindset of buying. They just want to, let me test this one, it's free, let me test it. But by the time they come, the value you created will determine whether they will stay or not. So it's not enough to use a TDD. Before you use a TDD or FDD, make sure you have a value that will cause them to stay. Make sure you have a value that when they test it, it will cause them to stay. I will repeat that again. Don't say Mr. Banito told you, go and be giving products for free for people to be tested. That's not what I'm saying, no. Before you decide on giving free or doing TDD or testing and FDD, please make sure you have a value that they will hang on when they come in. That TDD is like you're dropping an ear of corn. There is something you really want them to experience. Okay? That TDD will bring them to that experience and then cause them to stay there. And I'm going to give you an example. If you look at Coca-Cola, every now and then they do some TDDs. Buy this and you stand a chance to win 1 million. Just imagine, you're not even sure. But for the fact that you just want to get 1 million, you keep drinking Coke, keep drinking Fanta. They are gaining from the TDD they are doing. So you could also find out the best ways you could get from your TDD as you don't lose, the customers don't lose, you don't lose. The customers get satisfaction by drinking the Coke, drinking the Fanta. You get satisfaction by the revenue generated through the TDD or the FDD. Coca-Cola does that. Many of the businesses do that. So don't ask me, how will I do it in my business? My business doesn't have such feature. It's a lie. Every business, TDD, FDD can be applied. So Agile testing can be applied to any business. If you If you think I'm joking, go and start asking yourself the best TDD approach you can use. You'll be so shocked too. You see, some of these businesses, as I'm teaching this thing now, I've been hammering this thing. Don't finish this course and they ask you, say, yes, you're a certified project manager, you did Agile project, and you cannot exemplify it in your workplace. Don't try it. It will be a sin. There is none of the approaches we are talking about here that you cannot exercise in any business. There is no start from Scrum to Kanban to Scrumban to Lean, Lean to SP to TDD to FDD to DSDF. There is no one you cannot apply to business. So all you need to do is start looking at these approaches and start finding out which one will be the best to apply now. That's what you should be interested in. Don't tell me you're not a software company, so you can't use it. You're not an engineering company. Who told you? It's only software and engineering companies that are using it. We've just shared examples of how Coca-Cola uses it, how Nigerian breweries, how what do you call the other one? Pepsi, how they use it, how IPM is using it, how the bank is using it. So everybody, every organization is just to ask the right questions. Remember, you need to have the right blend of skills within your team before they will start understanding all of these things you're talking about. So if your team does not understand what Agile approach is all about, all you need to do is train them on these things. Train them. If you want to use lean approach in production management, train them on lean Agile approaches so that they understand it in practice, not only knowledge, in practice. Develop systems that will help them achieve the lean approach. And you'll be so shocked what they will give you. They will shock you with high rank values, high performance values. So please, we could have been talking about every other thing in project management, input, output, tools and technique and all of that. You might not have understood that. Is it this Agile project management? If you don't understand it, you're your own to lose. You are the one losing. If you don't understand Agile project management, you are the one losing. IPM is not losing. You are the one losing. So you have to understand it by fire, by force. If your head is not understanding it, hit your head and ask your head to understand it. Understand this thing now, because this is what will increase our value. Let the head understand it. Agile documentation. Agile documentation is the 11th stage of Agile project. At this stage, the complete documentation, or the complete documentation that documents the smallest details of the Agile project, right from the requirement gathering, iterations, client feedback received and implemented, etc. Did you know the Scrum Master is not a project manager? He or she works more as a facilitator who solves issues and serves as the interface with the client. So in this case, though he might be serving as the head of the team, but he's not the project manager. So the Scrum Master or Scrum Manager is different from project manager. Okay, let's quickly look at this example on benefit of adopting Agile project management methodologies. So I have YLB Healthcare. YLB Healthcare is a leading provider of healthcare equipment to hospitals across the globe. Its wide product range includes several high-tech surgical and diagnostic equipment. In fact, it is one of the few companies in the world which manufactures medical equipment that utilizes robotics. Automated robotic equipment are capable of carrying out medical procedures to surgeries with little to nil intervention by the surgeons and doctors. Recently, YLB Healthcare appointed Patrick Wine as the president of engineering and product development. Patrick knows that a very crucial component of YLB product is the software installed in equipment that allows it to perform with great precision. So Patrick decides to adopt Agile project management only for its product development division, but also so Patrick decides to adopt project management approach not only for his product development division, but also across the organization. Patrick knows that adopting Agile project management across such a large organization can prove to be a homologous and complex task. So Patrick puts together a team of internal experts and also hires a third party to help him transition the whole organization to Agile. The team decides to roll out the Agile adoption approach, a Agile adoption project in systematic chunks across more divisions, starting with the product development division. Slowly but steadily, they move each division of the organization to adopt Agile development over a span of 6 years. Also, over these years, they start training employees to not only adopt Agile in process, but also in spirit. Patrick and his team drive home the employees the importance of adopting Agile in their organizations. After successful adoption, Patrick and his team constantly monitor, evaluate, and implement improvement based on feedback and gather data. After 2 years, the entire organization has moved over to Agile. Patrick provides a detailed report of the impact of Agile adoption to the board. Patrick is pleased to report that ever since Agile was adopted, productivity, employee retention, and employee engagement has increased 10 times. Patrick also reports a large amount of cost saving due to the quicker and more efficient project management methodology through Agile adoption. YLB management are extremely glad with the results and are happy about their decision to adopt Agile project management in the organization. Patrick was confident that while LB was sure to gain from great benefits that Agile project management brings to an organization. So this is just a little of what Agile project management could do to your organization. Now, by the time we return back in the evening, we'll be looking at the importance of accountability, and then we'll be rounding up in the evening. So please, do I have any question? Now, please ask me. If there is any place you don't understand, please ask me now. Please ask me now. I'm going to be sharing the attendance sheet shortly. Please, I just need your questions because I would like everyone to understand this. Okay, so since somebody is asking me of attendance, simply means that everybody understood what I said. And we are gradually understanding Agile project management. Okay, so if that be the case, thank you for coming. The attendance sheet is passed now. The attendance sheet is passed now. So kindly fill out your attendance and then let's proceed. As regards to exams and payment, please, examination fee, payment for examination fee is still ongoing. So if you have not made your payment, please, we encourage you to do so. Either you pay online or you pay via our UBA account. And for those of us that intend going for chartered, we are actually working on getting your chartered certification this year. But where you're unable to meet up with this year, you still have from now till March 5th to make all your payments. Okay, to make all your payments. If you're going for chartered project manager, for associate, the total fee, for associate, the total fee is $400. For senior, if you're going for lead project management and you want to go for chartered member, the total fee is $550. If you're going for lead and you want to go for fellow, the total fee is $600. Okay. Okay, a question from Adetunji Fast Right, please. He said, in applying Agile approach, if someone has like 4 ideas, can the person introduce the 4 ideas at a go or gradually? Please, Agile project management encourages progressive work. So that means it's done gradually, it's not done at once. Okay, and all of the methodologies, no one will support you to do it at once. So if you have 4 ideas, Agile try to find out If you're using Kanban, for example, Kanban, try to find out what is the most important idea. What do I have to work on it? That's Kanban. So you start with what you have to start working on, the most important idea. Then if you're using Scrum will try to let you say, okay, get the people involved and then discuss with them, and then you can come up with the necessary strategies on how to go about the most important project. So it's a gradual work. It's not done once and for all. Okay, someone say we basically use strangler pattern for multi-feature development. Okay, so if I'm going to put the CIMC fees here. Please, currently, although the market is saying that dollar is 387, and some are saying 388, some are saying 389, but for now, the rate that we are putting, or we've agreed with CIMC, because we are going to be paying them in check. We are not paying them through any DM system. We are paying them in check. We collect the money and pay to them in check. All right. So the rate we are giving out now is $385. 385 naira per dollar. So those of us in Ghana, I don't know your rate, but your rate, whatever be your rate, is the same international rate. There is no addition, there is no subtraction. So if you're going for associate, the total fee is 400, and this 400 is going to be for your chartered certification and chartered membership, chartered certification and membership. And if we work on getting the independent certification for Agile management practitioner, Agile project practitioner, you also get that as part of the certification. So it will save you some cost. Then if you're going for chartered lead project manager, your total fee could be any of this. If you wish to go for fellow, okay, the certification first is $300. The certification is $300. If you wish to go for member, chartered member, your fee will be plus $250. That will be $350. Or if you wish to go for fellow, you will have additional fee of $300. So it's either you are paying $300, or sorry, $550 or $600. Okay. Please, the benchmark is 385 naira per dollar. So in case you want to convert, if you wish to pay in naira, please, the account is different from the other account we use. So please let me drop the account in case you wish to pay in naira. Just a moment, I will be with you. Okay, so if you wish to pay in naira, the account is 10225 03 03128, and the same account number, Integrated Institute of Professional Management, and that's UBA. If you wish to pay online, please, the same link prevails. paystack.com/pay/IIPM. Like we have done in the past, our greatest encouragement is that you should get your chartered, but please note that is not compulsory. If you don't have the resources to do it, please feel free to have your certified and have your cool. All right, then as time progresses, you can do that. But for now, we have some kind of agreement with CIMC, and that is the fees that have been already agreed on. Now, with the fees, you get your chartered, you get your membership certification, you get your chartered certification, and now we are trying to get your Agile project management certification alongside. And then you're going to get your certified membership. So you're getting 4 things from CIMC, 4 things from CIMC at these ridiculous prices that I mentioned here. And this is going to be available from now till March 5th. Some people from other courses have already started making part payment. If it's 10,000 you wish to be paying per month, per day, per week, or 50,000, anyhow you want to do it, but just make it a commitment and start making some commitment. You'll be shocked that before you reach March 2021, you would have cleared up and you would have had all these 4. If you're to do these things independently, you and myself know how much it will cost, not just from a training organization, from a chartered institution. Okay, so let's try to maximize the opportunity, right? Okay, so I'm going to close this class in 4 minutes. Do I have any question before I close? We'll be returning by 6 p.m. We'll be returning by 6 p.m. Please, we'll be returning by 6 p.m. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Nigerian time, 5 p.m. Ghana time. Okay, 6 p.m. Nigerian time, 5 p.m. Ghana time. 6 p.m. Nigerian time, 5 p.m. Ghana time. So please take your time and rest your rest before the same time. Okay, so is there anyone here who has not signed attendance? Is there anyone here who has not signed attendance? Okay, thank you to everyone. I'm going to put the information in the chat room as suggested by Honorable Zubairu. Or is it Zubairu? Yeah. So we're going to put the information there. But as it were now, the class is over till we meet again by 6. We'll meet again by 6. Please let me also use this time to inform us. Those people in admissions department, they might be sending you some information. So please kindly attend to them so that it will help them in preparing for exam. Those in the admission department, Mr. Fasa or Friday, I think if they send you information, please kindly respond to them. Yes, somebody said, please, is the $600 the total for the 4-in-1 package? Yes, that's the total for the 4-in-1 package, including others. Now, I didn't mention that by going for chartered with CIMC, you automatically get free certification, free professional membership certification from IIPM for free, all right? So you get that certification free for 5 years, certification for 5 years. 5 years free professional membership certification. So you don't need to pay for conference, you don't need to pay for induction again, you don't need to pay for membership. Just getting to have your chartered is enough for us. We want to encourage as many people as possible to maximize the time and this opportunity. By this time next year, we might not be too definite that it will still be like this. So please, let's do the needful. Okay, so I'm having a hand raised up, Engineer Duno. Please, Engineer Duno, kindly go ahead.
Yeah, well done. Good, sir.
Engineer Duno, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me?
All right, please go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, I want to find out what's the time for the exam on Saturday.
Sir?
Hello?
Yes, I'm with you.
I
What?
want to find out what's the time for the exam on the time for the exam on Saturday. What's the time?
Our exam starts by 7 a.m. 7 a.m.
Sorry.
But because of the lag we had last week, we had the lag. So I'm not definite if there's going to be a consideration as pushing the exam by 1 week ahead. But if that is going to be the case, we'll communicate it.
Okay.
For now, let's just have it at the back of our mind that